The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about.
Yes, speaking his mind.
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
While being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Good afternoon, beautiful people. It is Wednesday, April 14th, 2021. There is some big shit happening. Can't thank you enough for joining us here on SiriusXM Channel 82 Mad Dog Sports Radio and YouTube.com/The Pat McAfee Show. Wherever the hell you are, we thank you for taking time out of your day to listen to a bunch of sports stooges talk about what's going on in the world. Let's get to that last half of the sentence there. What the hell is going on in the sports world? Justin Fields is having another pro day today. Wow, it's a big deal.
Okay.
Hey, listen.
Okay.
People from every team are going to watch Justin Fields' second pro day. This second pro day only happened because his last pro day happened to happen on the same exact day as Alabama's pro day, where not only Mac Jones was throwing, which automatically came into conversation, but also a bunch of other players in Alabama that are probably going to make it to the NFL. So teams said, excuse me, can we have another pro day in Ohio? And Justin Fields said, absolutely, I'll throw for whoever, whenever, however, you got to make it happen. We've come to that day. Every team is being represented basically by some heavy hitters.
Oh, yeah.
All the reporters are reporting it. They're like, big names from the Jets organization is traveling to Columbus today. They got the assistant to the director of the pro personnel scouting department.
Okay.
Whoa. It felt like today we were learning a lot about titles and who the fuck is who in the NFL whenever they were describing who was going to Justin Fields' pro day. Just know this. Allegedly, the Niners are going and very interested. And they're talking to his private QB coach on a weekly basis, asking questions about he and Trey Lance. David Lombardi at Lombardi himself.
Okay.
That's actually the
Lombardi.
At Lombardi himself. I mean, a lot of people, there's a lot of Lombardis that I know.
Yeah.
I know a lot of Lombardis. Like a lot. Not just Michael Lombardi and his family. I'm talking about in Plum and in Pittsburgh, there are Lombardis everywhere.
Okay.
This is Lombardi himself.
The original.
Wow. This is David Lombardi.
Holy hell.
I love this guy. Paisan, love what you're doing here. He says, please don't overreact to this. Okay? Immediately going to overreact it.
Yep.
He knew it. Please don't overreact to this.
Whoa.
Comma. Not even a dot or a dot. It was a comma, so let me just have this in a sentence with a pause here. But it's a nugget from Matt's story that I know will make a lot of you happy. Shanahan has been frequently calling John Beck, Justin Fields' private quarterback coach, parenthesis, who's also now working with Trey Lance, parenthesis, to ask about Fields. We're not going to overreact, but we are going to say, holy fuck, thought the Niners were taking Mac Jones. All of a sudden now Justin Fields is potentially going number 3 overall.
Wow.
And why are the Jets even potentially going out to Ohio State if they are for the pro day today? Is he going number 2 overall? Or is everybody trying to get all the information, everything we've currently heard up to now is potentially bullshit?
Yep.
Feels like that
Sounds like bullshit.
To a T.
Who's going to do what? Shanahan's calling because Rappaport said, I think it was Ian Rappaport that said, look for Trey Lance to potentially be a sleeper in San Francisco as well. Now, they move up to 3. They trade a lot to move up to 3. You assume they're going to get a quarterback. Everybody's assuming they're going to get a quarterback. Allegedly, Jimmy G is in their plans, but after this season, not so much. They want a kind of a mentor-mentee type situation with the quarterback. That's the way Shanahan operates. I guess I'm just telling you what has been reported. You move up to 3, you think you have your guy you want.
Right.
Maybe they don't. Maybe they do. Maybe nobody knows about it. But can Justin Fields throw himself to the number 3 overall pick today? In a pro day setup, in shorts and a T-shirt, throwing balls against no defense and having no pressure on? Is he going to go up to number 3? Maybe, because you know what? Zach Wilson threw his way into number 2, locked in at his pro day when he did the little scamper flick of the wrist.
Cross body. Opposite hash.
So all eyes are in Columbus, and all eyes look forward to April 29th, the first round of the NFL draft, where so many things could happen. So many trades could potentially take place. So many franchises could change the way the rest of the world looks at them on April 29th. There's so much hope. There's so much optimism for every team that's involved because they think they could potentially get a pillar for their franchise to take them to places they've never been before. And on the flip side, your team could draft somebody that you at home think to yourself, wow, we fucking stink. Every other team got better. We got worse today. What the hell's going on? That is why the draft, first round, most important, but it's so fascinating. That's why we'll be having another live draft spectacular.
Yeah!
Hey. I am up to something other than the draft spectacular is happening.
Right.
Of course.
But I am up to something as well. By the way, there might have been a couple more clues that have been released.
Really?
Yeah, there might be one maybe potentially coming out later. There might be, there's a lot going on right now. But the April 29th first round draft spectacular, where we will be live on youtube.com/The Pat McAfee Show, will be happening. And the guests that we are currently talking with for potentially coming on, big.
Massive.
Huge.
Hey, could be quite a...
Oh, yeah.
A big one.
Listen, last year, this dumbass office with our stupid suits and our willful ignorance on everything
Yeah.
put on Draft Spectacular that had more concurrent views than the NFL had at one point on YouTube during the first round of the draft.
It's not too bad.
Aaron Rodgers came. Now, granted, we had Aaron Rodgers on. That was very nice. But there is an actual screenshot of the YouTube lives on the head of the page, and it has us, and then it has the NFL. And for us, it's just my fat face at the time, and AJ. I was on an upswing, I guess. I'm in much better shape now than I was last
good.
draft.
Here we go.
Pretty happy about that. And I always kind of see how my life is going whenever videos run from back in the day. It's like, well, off season. Oh, that's late in the season. That's beginning of season. Oh, there's May. Yeah, and then there's June. But there's a still shot where it's just me and AJ, and then there's Kevin Hart, I think The Rock, Russell Wilson, everything else. We had like 70,000 concurrents. They had 63,000 concurrents or whatever. So for some reason, people watched last year. We hope those same people will. This year, we assume the show, it's not going to be better, but we will do the show again.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So we hope you will join us.
For sure.
The surprise guest, potentially massive.
Oh,
But we can only operate off of what happens with the draft, which is why it's like a draft spectacular, because we are dependent upon what's going on in the draft to be electric. And for us, it took us 7 hours in that first round.
Yeah, just about.
And we had a moment. And it was when the Green Bay Packers, just a couple hours after Aaron Rodgers tells us on the show that, hey, we don't have a first rounder, but we got a couple. Maybe we move up. Maybe we get a weapon.
I'd love one.
Says it on draft night. Maybe I get a weapon or something like that. Says, my dream is to be a Green Bay Packer forever. That's early in the show or whatever. That's early in the draft. It's. By the way, those are getting clipped by people running on the internet. Then the Packers do trade up into the first round. It's like, okay, here we go.
Wow.
Wide receiver heavy. Aaron was on earlier. Aaron potentially going to come back on, by the way.
During the pick, he was going to.
Had sent a text like, hey, is there, if a weapon gets here, is there any way we can have it? He's like, yeah, I'm doing nothing, literally. Yeah, do whatever you got to do. So then all of a sudden, bang, trade up. They're doing it. Jordan Love gets drafted. Send a text, hey, don't worry about it. Put that down. Don't worry about that. Ty, obviously, in his Mel Kiper garb, yelling, God damn it, with the hate of 1,000 suns coming through his suck hole there while he said it, was so magical. And there's a chance something like that could happen again. There's a chance that some franchises could really make some moves this year. There's going to be a lot that's going to pop off. We're going to have great guests, and we cannot thank you enough for potentially watching and joining us on April 29th. At Boston Connor, the Patriots potentially making moves. A lot of different drafts.
Yeah. A lot of mocks out there.
I think that's my least favorite thing in the whole football world.
The mock draft.
Mock trades. I mean, they don't know.
The mock trade.
It's impossible.
prediction. And I understand it's just fodder and everything like that. And it might be from a smart person that knows football. But I've seen draft day, dude.
Yeah.
Kevin Costner might get on the fucking horn.
That's right.
You know what I mean? With 2 seconds left in the there, you never know nobody has a clue what's going to happen in any of those things. But it seems like multiple people who have made some of these mock draft simulators.
Yeah.
How simulations like the Digidog walking out of that building yesterday. Right. They got analytics and computers doing all this shit. The Patriots are allegedly going to be a little active on draft night.
Yeah.
Do you feel that? Are you potentially going to be disappointed when Bill does nothing on draft night because all these people are saying you're going to?
No, because they are saying we're going to, I now know that it's more likely that we're going to trade back than it is that we're going to trade up. And when you mention the Niners, all of a sudden I'm thinking, okay, so we're going to take a corner at 15, or we'll trade back, take like a D3 safety wide receiver in the second round, and then we'll just go with Jimmy G next year. And we'll just do free agent quarterbacks until Archie Manning is back in the league, and we'll take him and trade up for him.
Smart. That's not a bad play. Just kind of do 1 year quarter, 1 year deals or whatever.
Who cares? Just one on top of the other.
And you know how they say like somebody's a diamond in a rough or something like that, or like you don't have to draft them in the first round or second round.
No,
because you know what? Nobody can find. It's like a needle. Like nobody can find them. So the purpose of that is you can draft them later. Bill Belichick last year drafted somebody nobody had heard of very early. And he's a stud, right?
Kyle Duggar. He's probably going to be first team All-Pro this year, Pro Bowl, all the accolades, if I had to guess.
I understand, but I actually don't know if that's true or not. Did the guy play?
Yeah, he played. He played very well at the end of the year, too. We have a lot of confidence in Kyle, especially with Patrick Chung
Is this the same type of Studham?
No. This is not a Studham conversation. There is tape. You can watch it out there. Kyle Duggar tossing linemen around. He's a very good player.
Okay, sounds good. So it worked out. Guy was a good draft choice, but I think the issue is on draft night. The biggest judgment is did they reach?
Yes.
Did you reach? Did you reach? Like for instance, depending upon who the Niners take, going all the way up to 3, giving up with it, did they have to really go to 3 is going to be the final outcome, and you could judge it. And I guess if none of us know what's going to happen, you have to kind of get as high as you possibly can to put yourself in a good position. But man, drafts are so fascinating for me. Now, it's tough to give a fuck about 2 to 7. And I was picked number 222. I want to let you know.
Yeah.
But I'm not like a super all-in college fan, so I have no idea who any of these people are. And I've also seen a lot of draft picks come into a locker room and just stink and then just kind of go on their way, but also be highly talked about, highly hyped. It's very, and I think we've talked to a lot of people. It is, that have agreed on this, it is so hard to predict how somebody will be in the NFL.
Yeah.
It is just so hard. And I think that is another layer of why the draft is so damn entertaining. At Ty Schmidt, last year, the Green Bay Packers really shook some things up there.
Yes, they did.
6.5, 7 hours into that first round of the draft, about 1:06 a.m., maybe 1:30 a.m., 2:30 a.m. They said, hey, there hasn't really been that big of a moment yet. Everything has kind of gone off according to plan. Let's go ahead and shake some shit up. So we appreciate them doing that. But what are the signs or what are the chances you think of Green Bay really doing something good in this draft?
I don't know. I really don't. I mean, I feel like they feel like they're much closer to being there and winning, so maybe they do think like, hey, whatever piece we're going to get in the first round is going to be enough to get us over the hump.
Or they're thinking, hey, 4 years from now when Jordan's playing, this is going to be a great piece together.
And that's the problem. I guess we'll see how it shakes out, because I feel like last year we kind of knew, like outside of the Tua Herbert thing, we kind of knew how things were going to shake out. I feel like there are a lot more question marks this year with like where guys are actually going to go. I mean, it could all be bullshit and it could be chalk, but like I'll be interested to see which guys fall to later, like where the Packers might have an opportunity to pick a guy that maybe they didn't think was going to be there still.
Yeah, and I think that is the, because last year they could have done that.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Could have had a few guys.
They could have done that. But
Justin Jefferson was very close.
Right there.
Patrick Queen actually got picked after.
He did.
Hey, hell of a player.
Yeah.
He was on the show, wasn't he? No.
He's supposed to be. I think he had.
No, I thought he might have been.
I thought he did.
We did have Patrick Ricard as well.
Did we have Patrick Queen on?
I believe so. Wasn't he in
It was a good
bathroom?
conversation. Yeah, it had a good backdrop.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Good conversation.
Yep.
Would have loved him as a Packer.
Would have loved it.
Would have been great.
Anyways, he's a Raven. Lock it down or whatever. He kind of fits in well over there. But, man, he would have been great out there in Lambeau. But the draft night thought, and we live in an instant gratification society.
Oh, yeah.
We live in hey, we need this right now. Back in the day, news used to happen, and people would wait until like the 7 o'clock news, the 10 o'clock news to find out that it happened.
Yeah.
You know, big things.
Insane.
Big things. You would not. Now it's like, we want to know now. We want to know why now. We want to know who now. We want to know how now. That's what we want to do right now. We want everything right now. And in the draft, you have to have a little bit of respect, I guess. I mean, I would never do it this way, for the people who do draft for the future. Like the Packers doing that Jordan Love pick. We have no idea how that pick is going to turn out to be, right? We can guess because Aaron played MVP football. Jordan Love was throwing the balls, missing nets. There was he didn't dress, you know what I mean? But 3 years from now, sitting behind Aaron for 3 years maybe, like Aaron had to do behind Brett, when they were calling Aaron the biggest bust or one of the biggest busts in football, whenever he went in, Chris Collinsworth, there's a clip, whenever he goes in against Dallas, the same night as I believe Scott Stapp was playing some music. Something happened. Scott Stapp did something in Jerry World down there, and you know, Aaron had his hair flowing, and he told the story on here where he was like, something special is potentially going to happen tonight. He goes in. The first thing that is said is like, basically, how long is Brett going to be out? Because you're not going to win football games with Aaron Rodgers.
Right.
Was basically the statement. And that was, 3 years into his career? So it's so hard to predict who's going to be great. It's so hard to think when they're going to be great. But I guess there are teams, Packers obviously one of them, and I'm not sure who else, who are just preparing for the future so you can have continued success or whatever. But man, in the world that we live in now, with the amount of money and attention that garners with every success that you have, I don't know how you keep having that mindset. I'm a let's win right the fuck now guy. Hey, we might die tomorrow. Did we ever think about that?
Yeah.
Hey, this quarterback might get hurt next week. Hey, this head coach that we absolutely love, he might not be able to coach ever again here in like 2 weeks. Whatever reason. I don't know how people have that long-term mindset. But you got to remember, there's people playing chess out there and not checkers, and I guess that's the difference between me and most of those folks.
Well, and I mean, shit, I'll have to eat my words more than just about anyone if
everybody will.
Yeah, exactly.
Everybody
When it comes to that time, but I think, I mean, going back to it, like the two situations, the fact that they traded up when they knew Rodgers was like. I was young at the time.
Yeah, that trade up was bullshit.
Exactly.
Aaron fell.
He fell to them. A lot of people were saying whether it was him or Alex Smith at number one, and it just like.
So that means they weren't interested in any of the quarterbacks this year's draft, then, right?
Well, yeah, I mean,
if they trade up to get Jordan,
the
they're
story
like,
was,
we can't get another Jordan Love in the future.
Yeah. Right, yeah, exactly. They were enamored with him, couldn't believe he fell that far, and it's like, okay, if we don't get him now, he was I think he was the highest guy rated on their board at the time. And
then back in the day, if somebody ran very fast, they were going to go to the Raiders' top pick out of nowhere. Just somebody gets like infatuated. All you need is one, by the way. That's like the old saying, in the NFL. All you need is one billionaire, one GM interested. It's much better if there's two of them. But all you need is one. Now, if all 32 are in, great.
Yeah.
Great news if everybody's in there. All you need is one. Much better if there's two. That's why you see some deals happen where you're like, how did old buddy get that much? Like, well, there must have been two teams interested in this entire thing. It's just, the draft is fascinating. And I never thought, as a player, I hated it because the draft was meaning one of my friends was probably going to get cut.
Right.
Hell of a run, dude. You're just watching there like, well,
there's your replacement.
There's my fucking guy. Yeah. Hey, man. You're a really cool teammate.
Nice knowing you.
I'm probably never going to see you again. We'll run into each other somewhere, I assume. You're awesome, though. Have a good one. He's like, yeah, business. I get it, yeah. It was a good run, wasn't it? This guy's going to stink, too, by the way.
Good luck.
Probably have a good one out there. But that's what the draft was. Now, as a fan and obviously somebody that's had to be knee-deep in this bullshit coverage of it here over the last couple of months, I'm, like, very excited to see it kind of happen.
Well, and that's why it's so tough being a Patriots fan because, you said rounds 2 to 7, who cares? Really, the Patriots draft doesn't start till round 3. I mean, rounds 3 to 7 are where we find our guys.
Used to.
Used to.
Yeah, you used to have such a late pick all the time.
Oh, yeah. Well, no, I'm saying that's where Belichick zeroes in, the first and second rounds.
And Bill Polian used to do that as well. Everybody's like, Bill Polian was good at finding the diamonds in the rough and everything like that. Robert Mathis, Gary Brackett, things of that nature in the entire squad. And it was like, but they were drafting so late in the first round. They had to do like that type of scouting all the time because when you have success, you're a first rounder, but it's I mean, early second round, they say it's a late first round or whatever. Those are bad teams that are getting those picks there. So it's like the teams that have a lot of success, I think, are better at scouting the middle of the pack because they're actually spending a lot more time on that type of shit as opposed to like, okay, what are the top 15 guys doing? Because like Mike Tomlin said, I don't ever want to lose enough games to be able to draft somebody that looks like you, is what he said to Chase Young or whatever. Yeah. That's I would assume that is potentially why some teams are better in the middle, and those seem to be the teams that are very, very good.
And that's why there is some thought of the Patriots trading up because you don't know when they will have this high of a pick, especially because of, we go 7-9 and then Belichick spends $200 million in free agency. Like, when will we be at 15 that high again?
By the way, hilarious to think that 15 is so high.
Yeah. It is.
The Lions are back there like, hey, listen, another single-digit pick this year. Another single-digit pick.
This is the best time of the year to be a Lions fan, right? I already forgot about last season. We got a new coach, we got a new staff, and we got another top 10 pick.
I got good news for you, too, as a Lions fan.
What's that?
Their players this morning just announced they are boycotting OTAs.
Okay, nice. With a new coach.
I want to get better.
That'll work out. That'll work out.
We can't do that, by the way.
I know, I apologize.
We can't do that.
You're right.
Because players might be getting better than they've ever been working alone, working by themselves like they did last year. Yep. A lot of players said they enjoyed the ramp-up period, the OTAs, where it's 4 to 5 or like 6 to 7 weeks of high intensity. Then you're off for 3.5 weeks. Then you're back to high intensity. A lot of people's bodies didn't really handle that as well as they handled last year. That's why the guys went virtual meetings. But a lot of those young guys, it's going to be interesting to see how they adapt and overcome over the years that we got. Justin Jefferson was able to do it, almost won a goddamn MVP. There's a lot of rookies that were able to pull it off. Those special teams guys, though, the backup linebackers, the backup running backs, the guys that are doing those things that are rookies, I think it's going to be tough to get them involved. But hey, can't learn it virtually. Don't want you on a squad.
That's right.
That's what the players were saying.
How did teams with the first-year coaches do last year after the no training camp or the no OTAs?
Was it not good?
Well, I know the Panthers have a top 10 pick. That's the only one off the top of my head that I can think of.
Washington? Was it Rivera's first year?
Rivera's first year?
Hey.
They won, damn near won a playoff game.
Yeah, it's Heineken, but that was in the NFC East, and he did not win a lot of games.
You were still under 500.
True. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Could be tough up there for MCDC.
Might be.
But I want to let you know that NFLPA NFL battle over the OTAs thing is gonna be something.
Heating up.
There's already players that are saying, listen, like Brandon King, who's up in New England as a special teamer, he said, if Bill's telling me to come in, I'm going to come into it.
I'll be there.
There's going to be a lot of people. By the way, there's a special teamer, which is exactly what I was referring to there. There's going to be guys who are like, hey, this is my only opportunity to get a job here. Yeah. I'm going to go. I have to go. And then the NFLPA is going to be like, well, it'll be, if you get good at football and you make this league, what we're talking about is going to be a lot better. And they're all thinking, oh, I'm just trying to make the league.
Yeah.
So there's always going to be a split. That's when a CBA happens. That's when that whole thing happens. The OGs are like, listen, if you make it in this league, you're immediately going to come to our side. And they say, well, I don't know if I'm going to make it. And they got people saying, you got to do this just to make it. And it's just like, who wins there? I'll tell you who wins every single time. The PR, which is always this side. The old rich players that have made the NFL what it is for a long time and are the faces of the NFL and have been there, done that with the NFL. Those are the ones that are always like, oh, spoiled, entitled. It's like, really? They just garnered, the way they played football, they just garnered a $110 billion deal. So let's have a little bit of respect.
Little.
But on the other side, I wanted to go to the facility to kick whenever I was there. That's where I got to meet guys. This is hot. This is heater ball.
Well, especially in New England,
Cat
too.
Stockton, Mr. Neighborhood.
Belichick will give your job to an undrafted nobody if you're not showing up.
Let's get to a break. Channing Crowder will join us on the other side. Bonafide star right now on Earth with the I Am Athlete podcast. Played for the Dolphins. Went to Florida. Cannot wait to chat with this guy. This is the Pat McAfee Show, Wednesday, April 14th.
Tomorrow bring the papers as a favor. Mr. Neighbor Good grew up in the neighborhood. Never thought I could be someone that would stay for good. So the story goes, so myself.
Those plane rides home from an away game, an away victory, are some of the best times I've ever had in my entire life. And it's all it's dudes at 35,000 feet with a terrible sound system because you have you have somebody's cell phone going into that over the plane. And it was just like it was like real happiness for a lot of people on that team. I don't think they experienced a lot of real happiness because of how focused they were on their jobs There were a lot of older guys. So, like, their only moments of happiness, I think, were those flights home, like after a big win. Like, genuine happiness. Their entire life was dedicated to football. So all week, all they were thinking about was the game. And then that trip home, that like 3 hours, 4 hours, whatever it was like a moment for them just to completely like relax and not worry about next week or the past week, their family, nothing. We're at 35,000 feet, nobody else around us except for us. That is a real moment that I don't think a lot of people know about or appreciate, is the flights home from away victories are incredible. Absolutely incredible. Those are good times, man. Really good times. You got people singing. My favorite story is of an offensive lineman, and I won't say his name, but he was asked to sing, right? So if a rookie's asked to sing, like, you got to go sing. So he grabbed the microphone, and he didn't know that the owner's daughter just so happened to be on the team's plane, sitting up in the very front or in the very back. So they kind of have it off. So he kind of got comfortable in his current surrounding and didn't know about the entire surroundings. And he grabbed that thing, and he was not expected to sing the song. I fornicated 2 bad ladies at the same damn time. At the same damn time. At the same damn... And then he started feeling it because a lot of people were like, okay, yeah. Big white guy. Massive white guy. Nobody thought he was going to sing this song. So everybody starts, like, gassing him up. You know, he's like, I fornicated 2... He starts yelling into this thing. And then all of a sudden you see a little assistant from the front come waltzing back the aisle and grabbing the phone out of his hand. And he's like, what? Like, yelling at him while the thing's still on. So now the entire plane hears him yelling at this assistant. And he, like, puts the phone down, and we're all like, oh, no, like, no fun, all right. They're like, Carly Ursay's on this plane. We're like, oh. Everybody just puts their headphones on, sits right back down. Just an hour and a half of silence. That kid thought he was getting cut immediately off the plane. And he did. And he did. I'm up to something.
This is the Pat McAfee Show on Sirius XM Mad Dog Sports Radio. We thank you for taking the time to seek out this small regional show that streams internationally. Here's Pat and the boys.
Coming live from the heartland, USA. Where dreams go to die and your friends get sent away. Working to survive 9 to 5 every day. Spend your paycheck up at Walmart and Chick-fil-A. Pull up in the
Welcome back. That's David Morris.
That's not Chet Hanks.
It's not Chet Hanks. This is not Chet Hanks. But this is somebody who will be celebrating White Boy Summer. He went to school in West Virginia. This song is called Live from the Heartland. Good for him. He makes a banger or 4 every year or so. He used to be called DY. Now he's David Morris. Ooh. He and I graduated the same year from West Virginia. He used to do shows in clubs and things like that. DY. He used to get after it. I enjoyed him. I always enjoyed him a lot. Yeah,
that's actually a banger right there.
Yeah, he was a singer at one point, too. I think he could sing. He's just super musically talented guy. Shout out to him. Joining us right now is a man who will be able to talk about all things happening in the NFL and in the life. The I Am Athlete podcast that he sits alongside Brandon Marshall, Ocho Cinco, Fred Taylor, and who else? I think that's it. I'm not 100% sure. I think that's it. But it is incredible to listen to. We had Brandon Marshall on 2 weeks ago. His conversation was electric. I assume the exact same thing is going to happen right now. Former linebacker of the Miami Dolphins and the Florida Gators, ladies and gentlemen, Channing Crowder.
Yeah!
What up, dude?
What's going on, baby?
Hey.
Hey, Pat.
Yeah.
I don't know when's a white boy summer. I've never been invited to white boy summer.
Man, listen, let me tell you, what we got to do is we got to go down to Jamaica. We got to pick up a fake accent called Chet Hanks, and we are living, rude boy. We are living. Channing, thank you so much for joining us, man. I'm a fan of your work. That I Am Athlete podcast is some of the coolest shit that has hit the internet in a long, long time, so congrats.
Appreciate it, man. You know, I love you too, man. Watch you all the time, bro. You're a talented dude. But yeah, man, a couple boys got together. We said, hey, we sit around the pool drinking beer with our kids every damn weekend. How about we put some cameras up? And it blew up, bro. So I'm enjoying it. B. Mars, Fred T, Ocho, we having a good time.
Yeah, it's incredible content. The conversations are electric. Every single time you guys put a show out, it gets clipped everywhere. So thank you for doing that for all of us in the sports world. Let's talk a little bit about your career and things that you have said in the past. The first thing I want to get to is there's a headline we searched, obviously. We go, Channing Crowder, you come on, like thing. You said The Rock wasted his goddamn money with the XFL. Channing, everybody wants to know why you hate the XFL. You don't like The Rock. I would like to learn a little bit more about this statement. And how do you feel about a developmental league of some sort having to happen at some point, don't you think?
Yeah, the developmental league makes sense, man. I love The Rock to death. I raised a baby with The Rock. That's a good-looking man, talented man. Watched him when he was The Rock, and now doing all the movies and stuff. Love The Rock, but we've tried it. They've tried this, man. They've tried the XFL, what was the other one, AAF, and all that stuff. It's not top-quality football. It really isn't. If you are a top-quality player, as y'all know, you're going to be in the NFL. If you that developmental thing, bro, college is to develop guys. How many guys literally come out the AAF or XFL in the past and went to the league and balled and really changed the league? The concept is great. It's just failed so many times that I really think he's wasting his money.
Oh, man, you stumped me there with the question, actually. I was trying to run through the AFL, and the only thing I could think of was that first week where that one guy got fucking murdered.
Yeah.
The AFL had that one guy get killed, and it was like, okay, they're going to be a success because there's big hits here. Then in the XFL...
Tommy Maddox.
Tommy Maddox.
Come on.
Hey, listen, Tommy Maddox, Channing. Have a little bit of respect for Tommy Maddox. We're talking to Channing Crowder.
Sorry, Tommy.
Hey, why do you think it is so hard, by the way, the disparity between a good player and a great player, right? And I think this is something that, listening to I Am Athlete podcast, and I hope I get to shine a light on too, like what you're doing in between years in the situation you're in is much bigger deal. There's a lot of people that can run. There's a lot of people that can tackle. Why do you think it is so hard for some people to make the transition? We're staring down the draft right now. A lot of these dudes ain't going to make it. That's just how it is. And there's a lot of conversation. Why do you think that is, Channing?
Because the physical thing, the physical side, working out, all the stuff, the God-given ability, being, 6'3", 250 and running a 4.5. There's people that can do that. Like Usain Bolt is the fastest human ever. If he got on the football field, his ass is getting knocked the hell out because it's just so much more to it. And that's what people say, bigger, stronger, faster. You remember them damn workouts, Pat. Bigger, stronger, faster. Bigger, stronger, faster. You got to know what the hell you're doing. You're playing against the best athletes in the world. Like in high school, bro, I didn't get touched by a lineman. Went to UF 2 years, all SEC 2 years, all American. Like it was easy. You got to that league, them damn linemen they were ballerinas at 360. Then you have to know what he's doing. You have to know when the splits are cut. You got to know, the mental side of the game, and it gets harder and harder. As a linebacker, bro, I'm competing against Andy Reid and Bill Belichick and Sean, McVay and those guys because they're trying to scheme you up being the duck. They're trying to get a damn tight end or running back on me. So you're going against the best football minds in the world, and you have to perform physically. That's why it's the 1% of the 1%. And you're not the 1% of the 1%. So we're going to make up some leagues to make it the 3% of the 3%. Bro, it doesn't make any sense to me. I love football. I would love to have football year round. I would love to have those leagues work out. I watch those secondary leagues, and the shit is boring.
Channing, I was on a sideline commentating one, and I was like, oh, man, it's hard for me to watch. Just like, for instance, it's hard for me to watch college football, even though college football is very good, because I literally had a front row seat to elite football every single day. And whenever you watch them, it's like I feel like I'm watching a high school football game, right? Like I literally feel like I'm watching a high school football game. I've actually said before, and it might be a dumb comment, but I feel like I could potentially, with how defenses are in college and with what you said, the offensive lineman didn't even touch you in the SEC, which is the best thing, which is why obviously got drafted and had success in that thing. I think at this point in my stage, with my football IQ in those colleges, I think I could potentially be a Heisman finalist at quarterback. And that should not happen, okay? That should not be the case. I'm just saying, like, there's just levels to this shit. And when you get to the NFL, it is a different level. You got to experience something with the Dolphins that I think is very, very fascinating. I believe Saban was your coach down there, right? Saban is going to he's going to go down as top coach of all time for college football, one of the greatest coaches of all time in all sports and everything like that. He did not work in the Miami Dolphins organization. Urban Meyer now goes to Jacksonville, and I think this is potentially an Urban Meyer to Nick Saban. I think this is something that he did want to accomplish. Why was Saban not a good NFL coach? And do you think that Urban potentially is going to do well or fail as an NFL coach?
First off, the X and O's of Nick Saban, bro, the man's a genius. The man, he knows football. Like, between the lines, he'd tell us why the offense is out there. He would tell the defense. And this is how he talked to people. And this is kind of the reason why the second part of your question, he didn't make it. He wouldn't come up and say, hey, Crowder, they're going to go trips. You know, the bat's going to be offset. They're going to throw a screen weak side on third down, make the tackle, shoot the B gap, and we'll get off the field. He'll come up. Hey, they're throwing at you. They don't trust you. I don't trust you. They're going to throw a weak screen because you're over there. And if you make the tackle, then we'll get on the field. If you don't make the tackle, then we're fucked. Like, that's how he talked to grown men. And, bro, I seen Zach Thomas cuss his ass out. Keith Traylor cuss him out. Junior Seau cuss him out. Because you talk to a grown man that way, Pat, and you know, like, he said something to, you know, Zach. He was like, just call the fucking play call. And Zach looked at him and was like, man, who the hell you think you're talking to? Like, I built this damn organization, you know, so that's what the X and O of it, and to Urban's point, the X and O of it, I think a lot of college coaches can go in here and scheme up defenses and offense. I love Urban. Urban got my Gators 2 national championships. I love Urban. But to get to the NFL, you got to humble yourself and have people skills with grown-ass, rich-ass men. He walked into a Jason Taylor that probably had $150 million in the bank. You're not going to call me and talk to me like a little boy when I'm sitting on 150 and I'm a first ballot Hall of Famer, 12-time Pro Bowler. You can go to hell, little dude. So I know everybody heard the story, Dante Culpepper. He ran up on Dante, and Dante said, you better get your short ass out my motherfucking face. the college side of it, you can be a dictator. When you're in college,
you run everything. Hey, in college, you run everything. Workouts, study hall, meals, classes, practices, year-round, everything. And by the way, you don't do it, we got a scholarship for somebody else. In the NFL, and this is my exact take on everything, and thank you for saying what you just said down there in Miami, because I just had a couple thoughts of big, handsome-ass Jason Taylor. Yeah. Like, hey, you get the fuck out of here, man. But the thought of it is, in the NFL, guys, grown men, to your point, in high school, the football coach has a higher football IQ than everybody, okay? So what he says, you need to listen to me. College, same thing. I gave you the scholarship. You're here. I know football better than you. Let me teach you this thing. In the NFL, there's some guys that have been around football 20 years that are still playing in the NFL. They're like, hey, my football, I understand you've been around football because you're older than me, maybe a little bit longer, but I've been around football at a very high level too. There needs to be a little bit of a peer conversation here as opposed to, and I think that is why some people just absolutely fail miserably in the NFL. I don't know Urban well enough to know whether or not he's going to get that right or not, you know?
Yeah. If he humbles himself, because I actually left UF because Urban came in. I was around Zook. They fired Zook. I wanted to hit it. I was chasing money. We talk about it on the podcast. These guys talk about greatness and Hall of Fame and this. Bro, I knew how much my check was going to be after taxes every single game. I'm going to make, this week they're giving me $27,000. They're giving me $71,000. I would know before the game how much I'm making that Sunday. And a lot of people are taken back by me saying that, but I'm real. Brandon wanted to go to the Hall of Fame. Ocho wanted to go to the Hall. Fred wanted to go to the Hall of Fame. I wanted to get millions of dollars so that I can get a big ass fishing boat, hang out all day, raise my kids, and have a good time. That was my goal.
Hey, so I had a conversation with a coach actually when I was in the NFL. He came in, he was like an assistant or whatever. He was a little bit younger, and he seemed like he was flustered and he was yelling at people. And I went to him and I like almost had a conversation with him like, hey, like you can't. Like, I think the way you're handling things, like, you can't, like, I think it's not your best interest to be talking the way you're talking to people. I think, this way with this guy is, like, I think that's a good conversation to have with coaches, especially, I feel like if they maybe have known you before or whatever, they come in and he goes, oh, this guy doesn't love football. He's only in it for the money. I was like, who cares, dude? I want to let you know, like, it doesn't matter what he's in it for. He's still in it. Okay, so if his passion is success so his entire family can be set up, okay, just act as such. Like, that is what he is here for. By the way, he might not be on his team for more than 3 weeks. So to think like he wants to, oh, he loves the Colts, he'll die for the Colts. Like, not, you want people like that. Not everybody's going to be like that. Coach accordingly. And I think that is just kind of the offset from the way media kind of covers things and the expectation is from the fans from real life. A lot of guys get cut. A lot of guys are gone. A lot of guys have missions. A lot of guys, as long as they have a why, who gives a fuck what it is?
Oh, hell yeah. Bro, when we went 1-15 with Cam Cameron's silly ass, Cam Cameron was the goofiest coach in the history of football. Goofy as hell. We were 1-15. They come back next year, bro. I think 18 of the 60 guys, the roster guys in the practice squad, 18 of us made it. I looked around at that point. I'm like, bro, I got to get this bread because my ass is next. They cut JT. They cut Zach. They cut Junior damn Sayal. When they cut Junebug, that's when I said, oh, yeah, this is different because I'm not on that level. My ass is next to go. That's the thing. And fans do, too. Fans, honestly, they have the passion for the team. And I love fans. That's what makes the game is fans. But if my mortgage statement's late, are these fans that love me and bought my jersey gonna cash at me some bread? My kids eat. My son is big as hell. He needs a lot of protein. Give me a couple damn churrascos? I don't think so, Pat. So that midline, high school's camaraderie, play for your city. College, play for the school. NFL, bro, you are a LLC. I was Channing Crowder LLC. You were Pat McAfee LLC. And if that business wasn't performing, they were going to get rid of your ass just as fast as they drafted or signed.
By the way, instead of being a limited liability corporation, I was an Inc. So it was actually Pat McAfee Inc., which is what we are now, and I was then. That is actually what it was, Channing. Man, I fucking love you, dude. Thank you for coming on today, man. What do you have, Connor?
Yeah, Channing, recently on the I Am Athlete pod, your guy, Brandon Marshall, kind of mixed up a couple details about NBA contracts.
Hey, big mad.
Yeah.
Big mad, too, in the middle of that thing.
Did you let him know, or did you just have him log on to Twitter and find out, like the rest of us, how the contracts actually work?
Bro, we argued that night. I Googled that night. Right as soon as the cameras went up, I'm like, look, B. And he was hot now. He was fire hot because he got his big ass up looking like a fucking velociraptor screaming and yelling, the veins and all that shit coming out his neck. And he was screaming, I'm like, B, look. And he was too frustrated that night to talk. We're texting later on. I'm sending him screenshots of these damn websites.
It's getting worse.
How many players have no guaranteed contracts in the league? They went through all 30 teams. There was no guy without a guaranteed contract currently on the roster. I'm like, B. He was like, oh, call my neighbor's Rajah Bell. I'm cool with Udonis Haslam. He's like, call your friends. I say, B, I just talked to Google, motherfucker. Look at what's going on. Look at this. So last episode, he kind of pulled back a little bit. But, yeah, it's like the locker room, man. And I said, and B even talked about it on the show. He got a little sensitive. We were talking a lot of trash, messing around with him. And he got in his feelings a little bit and took it out on me. I was waiting for his big ass to come around the edge of that table because I had my left foot in the ground and I had that right straight ready to go.
Yeah. You were good?
Yeah, you gotta get that plant foot. Get that plant foot. As long as you got that left in the ground, you can throw that right.
The locker room is a place that everybody, whenever they retire, obviously the checks are something they miss, and the opportunity to do things that are, great stories. But the locker room is always something that people miss out on. I'm very lucky to have a group of dudes that kind of get it around me, that understand like the banter. And I think that is why the I Am Athlete podcast is so good, man. It's like a trip back in there. And I mean, you guys take ventures now. Like, we're big mad, we're laughing. I think I saw some tears in some episodes. I mean, you guys are fucking awesome down there, man. And I can't thank you enough for joining us here today.
Oh, man, thanks for having me. And that dynamic is what I think just, on a little bit serious note, what dudes need, what men need. Like, you need men to be around you. Like you said, you got your boys. I got my homeboys. I got, a bunch of dudes I love and grew up with, live in Miami now. So I got my boys that are gonna tell me when I'm fucking up, or when I'm saying something crazy, or if I get too big time. When I got my second contract and the Dolphins gave me a number of millions of dollars, I remember being like Crowder, bro, stop buying bottles. We ain't gonna drink no damn 3 bottles.
My friend said
we gonna pee in the bed. Like, if you drink 3 bottles of liquor, everybody's gonna pee in the bed that night. So my boys,
we need to relax. We need to relax.
In the club, let's go sit by the bar like we used to. We'll drink some drinks by the bar, holler at some girls, see if we can get a little post-club fun, but don't change. And I think that's what, honestly, like me, Brandon, Fred, Ocho, we hang out. Me and Brandon's kids play tennis together, play baseball together. Like, we're friends, we're tight. And that's the thing, man. Have some dudes that aren't on a payroll. Have some dudes that aren't hanger-ons. They got their own shit, but they are real friends to you and gonna tell you, bro, that's cool. Oh, okay, I understand what you're saying. Oh, no, that don't make no damn sense, bro. Like, you need some real ones around. I call them real ones. You need some real ones around you, and that's really what the I Am Athlete podcast is a bunch of big male lions. You know how it is in the locker room.
Oh, yeah.
Male territorial lions sitting down, having conversations that everybody has in the locker room, everybody has at the bar, everybody has on the back porch, but just letting the world see it, that these alpha males can argue, can fight, like you say, can cry. And we're going to sit there and we're going to accept those emotions, and we're going to just talk and be cool. That's what life's about. And I think that's what we're articulating the best with the I Am Athlete pod.
I think you explained it perfectly there. And the thought of you saying you describe it as real ones, that's the biggest compliment you can give somebody in the NFL, right? Like, when somebody comes into a locker room from another locker room and you ask, like, hey, what's this dude like? And they're like, oh, you're a real one or whatever. It's like, okay, all right, here we go. We know exactly what's showing up in the locker room. We know exactly what's coming. Then that's why there's a lot of people that talk, as the world is starting to grow a little bit. I always wonder what former teammates say about the person before I really do anything else. I'm always like, I want to know what other people say before we take said person serious. I would like us to at least understand how he was taken by other people that he had to kind of go through that locker room and that entire thing with, because it's a special place, man. I said this, as the world was kind of separating even more than it ever has in the past. And I'm not the only person that's ever said this, obviously, but the locker room is this melting pot of just people from everywhere, every place, every background, every religion. Then you kind of come together and try to, we're all going towards one goal, right? So it's a Super Bowl, and the amount of shit talk that is in there and the things that are said to get to that and kind of embrace that whole thing, it's a beautiful thing. And I really appreciate you guys making it available for people in that show. Ty has a question for you, too, before we get out of here. Sorry, Channing.
Channing, having played for the Dolphins and being down there, I know they had a little bit more success last year, but do you think they're ever going to get it right? Like, are they ever going to get to that point where that seems like we've been waiting for 40 years for them to get back to?
Yeah. Once Marino retired, that shit was done. I played 6 years with the Dolphins. I think I played for 10 quarterbacks. You know what I'm saying? That's not a successful thing. The 1985 Bears shit, the 2000 Ravens, 02 Bucks, that defensive 17-6 game, man, that shit is gone in the NFL. Gotta put points on the board. Hopefully, Tua is that guy. I'll tell you this. I love Brian Flores. Talk to Brian. Straight edge guy, smart football dude. I think Brian Flores is the answer. Chris Greer, the GM, is who has to do it. He's been doing his thing, moving around. You saw what he did with San Francisco and, jumping from 3 to 12, 12 back to 6. Like, Chris is doing his thing, but he's the one that has to buy these damn groceries so Flores can flourish in this league.
Can make a meal.
This is gonna be a big-ass year for him. With all these draft, the next 2 years, we have, 3, 4 first rounds. We got, a couple dozen draft picks. That's what it is. I love the coach, and people talk about the organization and the culture. Everybody talks about culture. You need players to play football. But there's no coach. Nick Saban, smart ass. Bill Belichick, smart ass. I haven't seen him make one tackle. I haven't seen him score one touchdown. You have to acquire pieces and put their ass in a situation to be successful. And that's on Flores and Greer. But to answer it simply, I do believe, if I had to bet money, and I'm a gambling man, I gamble every single night. Yeah. Bovada, I got all of it. Yeah, okay. I would put money that this Dolphin team is going to continue to ascend because of how they're building it right now. They're not trying to go buy a Ndamukong Suh for $100 million, go buy a Mike Wallace for $100 million, bring in Dante Culpepper at the end of his career, and all that silly shit we did in the past. They're drafting players, they're sticking with players, they're adding free agent pieces like the good teams do, and like I believe that Brian Flores learned in New England.
I do like that Chris Greer went to the grocery store, grabbed some groceries, went back to the house, and then grabbed the Cal Van Noy tomato and said, get the fuck out of here.
See ya.
See you later. We bought it. We want it. What's that?
I said, get him out of there. And I like that too. I hate when, oh no, well, you just signed him. Hold on to him. If he doesn't fit your shit, get rid of him.
Okay. Steve, that's 10 quarterbacks in 6 years. That's what people are talking about, like turnover. Like, hey, maybe who knows? Nick, what do you have?
Channing, Pat was talking about the camaraderie and the team and everybody in the locker room coming together and everything. When you got into the infamous war of words with Rex Ryan when he was the Jets coach, were guys in the locker room gassing you up for that, or was that all you just like, nah, I'm sick of this dude talking, I'm going to let him have it?
I got sick of him. What started actually was I'm riding to a golf tournament, and I saw, I'm listening to sports radio. I'm a sports radio nerd. I'm a podcast and all that crap. So I'm listening. He's like, yeah, we won the offseason. I was like, you won the? Why do you win the offseason? Get out of here. And I already like to talk shit. So then, coincidentally, that same day, there was media out there, and somebody asked me about it. Oh, you heard what Rex Ryan said? And I said, yeah, congratulations, you won the offseason. But, there's no Super Bowl trophy given now. And so then we started going back and forth. Bro, to your question, the team, they loved it. Oh, yeah. They loved that. They were like, Crowder. We know because everybody knows I talk shit. I got in fights on the field. A bunch of guys were like, there were guys, Leonard Davis, the guard from the Dallas Cowboys, chased me around for like a quarter. And I would try to put Zach over there. Zach, get on the left. He said, no, you pissed him off, CC. You get your ass over there with him. Chased me around for a quarter because I said some choice words about some – I do research on guys.
Yeah, okay. One of those guys. Yeah,
I said some choice words, and he got upset with chasing me around. Me and Matt Light, we fought on the field because I found some information out about him. But so now I went to the coaching side, and my teammates were like, they loved it, but they were like, bro, your ass is crazy. Yeah. Something's wrong with you. I was like, what is it gonna what's gonna happen? Rex Ryan's gonna what? Run the ball straight at me and try to teach me a lesson? Okay, I'll make the tackle. I didn't see why people were scared of us. I said, the hell with that. The hell with Rex, the hell with the Jets. I already didn't like the Jets, so I didn't give a damn about none of them.
When he says, I've walked over tougher people than Channing Crowder to get to a fight before, made you laugh a little bit? A pretty good line. Pretty good line from Rex.
Oh, yeah, he knows how to talk trash.
That was pretty good.
Actually, it's crazy to say, my mom saw him somewhere after that, and he actually said something to my mom about. My mom went up to him like, I'm Channing Crowder's mother, and he was like, oh, I love your son. He kind of pulled back, and at the end of the interview, he even said it. He was like, oh, no, let me laugh so this guy doesn't kill me. But yeah, man, think about it. If you hit Rex Ryan with 2 blows to the body, he's going to curl over.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah.
So I like it. I do appreciate a good trash talk. It was fun. My teammates enjoyed it. But, the media made something of it. But I love it. I don't give a damn. Why would I?
Hey, and by the way, I bet Rex absolutely loved the opportunity as well. He's getting a chance to meet him here in the last couple of years. Electric. He'd be great on the I Am Athlete podcast, actually. It'd be a great conversation. Ladies and gentlemen, Channing Crowder. Thank you. He's awesome.
Yeah, incredible.
He's fucking awesome. Yeah. I had no idea what to expect there. Just seeing him on the I Am Athlete podcast and watch that and everything. He's awesome. I like him a lot. That's a great, by the way, I would assume a lot of people listening are like, oh, okay, I would like to listen to that guy's podcast.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Brandon Marshall was incredible a couple weeks ago. They're doing it right down there. Hey, they're doing it right down there. Let's get to this hard out here. We got a lot to talk about on the other side. Jadeveon Clowney has signed with the Cleveland Browns.
Wow, okay.
These things happen while we were talking to Channing Crowder there. Aaron Donald is getting charges pressed on him after a fight in the south side of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. If you've listened to the show at all and heard me talk about Pittsburgh at all, more specifically the south side of Pittsburgh, which is a Guinness World Record holder for most amount of bars per capita. It is a strip. You keep your head on a swivel late night there because you are very likely to get punched by some affliction shirt. This time it was Aaron Donald, allegedly.
Yikes.
We'll talk about that and more in hour 2. This is the Pat McAfee Show.
Hot off the heels of the longest week in wrestling history.
I gotta be honest, I think O'Reilly Cole was the best thing that happened all week, period.
That may very well be one of the top 3, if not the top women's match, probably in the history of the business.
Bad Bunny was so good, and he throws a better punch than half the guys in big-time wrestling.
I think Rhea is going to be a transitional champion in that
I think she's an average performer at best, and I think that's all she could ever hope to be.
Not only was she not featured in a WrestleMania match, but the way in which she was featured did her no favors.
You know, he was trained by Disco Inferno, which means he's really beat the odds.
The mystique is gone. You know, you're going to fuck around and have him go back and wrestle as Husky Harris. You've all but killed Bray Wyatt in WWE.
But to me, it looked like a fat guy in gym shorts wrestling the guy who sells papers on the corner.
You're cold-blooded, man.
Welcome to Aaron Dad! The #1 sports gambling podcast coming out of the Pat McAfee Incorporated offices is now live 5 days a week at 4 p.m. Woo! With me and Bubba Gumpino and a host of a cast of characters and guests. We're going to try to get guests every single day. We'll be covering all the gambling knowledge that you need. MLB, NBA, football, footy. Anything else, pal?
Everything. Guess, baseball, basketball, footy. We'll even dive into NFL futures coming up. And most importantly, winners, Tony.
Winners, we are hunting winners every single day, live 4 p.m., Monday through Friday. You can find us on our own YouTube channel. Search us, Hammer Don on YouTube. Coming to you live every single day, 4 p.m. Hammer Don!
Well, hello, sensual piano keys. You sound incredibly inspirational and motivational. Big announcement coming from our company. You know, throughout my entire life, I've made decisions that people have said, ooh, that is stupid. You've read about them, you heard about them. When I was in high school, I went to an underground poker game, won $1,400, flew myself down to Miami, won a kicking contest, and got a scholarship to West Virginia the next day. I turned my back on soccer that day. Everybody said, you're an idiot. Why are you doing that? You have more schools looking at you for soccer than you do for football. What are you thinking? Fast forward 8 years with the Indianapolis Colts, and I was on top of the world, top of the mountain. How's the view? Not too shabby. And when I was at the top of my game, I decided, you know what? I'm going to pursue some other stuff. My friends and I are going to go to work on the internet. We're going to try to chase fulfillment as opposed to just a paycheck. And there were some interesting responses from people of power in the sporting world.
Make them tear the uniform off of you. Sure. Look, somebody needs to stage an intervention. People who know this guy, get to him now. Make him put his helmet back on and get to camp.
Oh no, there's no intervention, Wilbon. No, no, no. Here we are 3 years after that date, and it's a celebration, bitches. Cut the music. Let's hand out some bags to the boys. For the boys. For the boys. Oh, by the way, that's for you, brother.
Oh my God.
Are you home? All right, come up front door.
What's up, dude?
What's this?
Oh, you son of a bitch.
What the fuck? Fuck you. Oh my. Oh yeah, it is the bag of money. Oh, FanDuel deal went through. There's $50,000 in it. Here's a backpack with $50,000 in it. Oh, $50,000 in it. Oh my god. Yes, there's $50,000 in there. Yes, there's $50,000. Are you fucking serious? Let's go.
You brought it back?
Oh man.
Let's go, dude.
Let's go. I appreciate you, buddy.
Yo, this is...
Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you, dude. We did it. Couldn't have done it without you. Oh, thank you. Dude, it's a fuck ton of money. You guys.
When I asked Dan Patrick for some advice, he told me always take care of the boys.
And you should know, those people that are there with you, that their value cannot be overstated and should not be overstated.
So Mike Wilbon, they didn't hold my jersey on me. They didn't hold my helmet on me. We didn't have an intervention. What we have is a celebration, because when you bet on yourself, sometimes you hit for big. And for us, the only place we'll bet for the next couple years in an exclusive deal, FanDuel backed the Brinks truck up to our office, and we have never been more thankful, more excited, and more together as we promote the greatest sports book on planet Earth.
The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about. Yes,
speaking his mind.
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
While being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back to that show. Hour 2 here on SiriusXM and YouTube will begin immediately following this Twine beat drop. 3, 2, ha. There it was. Here we go. The Hammer Down boys are joining us.
Hey!
Hammer Down is a live show at youtube.com/Hammer Down. That's DAHN. At Bubba Gumpino. How you doing, pal?
Champions League, Liverpool. We need another Anfield miracle today, Pat.
Now we go.
Nobody knows what that
Anfield
means.
miracle.
Nobody knows. Nobody knows what that means.
You'll never walk alone, brother.
That's what the Liverpool fans say.
Yes, sir.
That's the Illuminati hat you have on your head right now, the LFC Liverpool Football Club.
Nothing but red.
The thought about, they're playing today?
Yeah, so they're down 3-1 to Real Madrid.
In aggregate or actual?
Yeah. In aggregate, 3-1 actual, but they have an away goal. So if they win 2-0 today at home, they go to the semis.
And let me tell you, this is why soccer stinks.
Right.
So tough.
Come on. Can't do it. Can't do that right there. Just can't.
They do have the away goal.
It's like, come on, who
Think
cares?
about that.
Get it to penalty kicks.
I agree.
You know what I mean? Just get it straight to penalties.
What are we doing?
How can we set this up to go to penalties? That's what and listen, I played soccer. And for the people that are mad about the way I'm talking about soccer right now, I was probably better than you at soccer. Just a quick thing. But it is tough for me to watch. I'm an instant satisfaction guy. In the soccer, now granted, I watched a little Bundesliga the other day.
Oh, man.
Hey, the way that goalie is a player. I mean, they just pass it to the goal. The goalie might as well be the fifth back there. It is. I enjoyed it a lot. I might start coming around because of how much money we've been winning off of you gambling about it. But whenever we get into the aggregates, away scores, this happens, that happens. I just can't. There has to be a better way. You guys play 700 games a year. There has to be a better way to do things.
If it's 3-1 today, it'll go to penalty shots.
Okay, we need 3-1.
Now okay, so that's what we're pulling for, because the away goal.
Let's go 3-1.
At-Tone Diggs is here. How are you gambling, pal? The first 5, good 5? What do you got going?
5-2 last night. It's not bad.
Okay,
that'll win.
Something you do know a lot about, though. South side of Pittsburgh is being talked about in a massive fashion this morning. A man wearing a Washington State football hoodie with a jersey hoodie, I believe. Had a large shiner on his right eye that appeared to have some stitches, and his arm, I believe, was in a sling. He is alleging that Aaron Donald punched him in the face this morning in the south side of Pittsburgh at a club called the Boom Boom Room, which is an after-hours club that was open at 3 a.m. I assume they're open till 5 to 6 a.m. standard after-hours clubs. Now, if you've listened to this show and if you've heard me ever speak about the south side of Pittsburgh, you'd hear a few things. South side of Pittsburgh, Guinness World Record holder, by the way, for most amount of bars per capita, basically, of space. Jeez. It is a Bourbon Street, but bigger. Okay, a longer and everything like that. Just kind of a straight shot. It's a longer distance. There are bars everywhere. St. Patrick's Day in the south side, maybe heaven on earth if you're just an absolute drunk. There are bars open 6 a.m. and it's just back to back to back to back, but it's in Pittsburgh. So there's a lot of places that have things like Nashville has Broadway. You know, there's Bourbon Street. I think there's a couple other places that I think Chicago maybe has a little bit of a run. Detroit has a run. I think it's called Greektown or whatever. It just seems like the south side is the longest. And also the south side, by the way, also the grittiest. Okay. So whenever you're going to Pittsburgh, well said. Literally called a steel tank. Okay, that's what it is. Iron City is the beer of choice in Pittsburgh. It is known as the sootiest air for a long, long time. It was like this is what Pittsburgh is, okay? Very proud to be from Pittsburgh, but I think everybody kind of understands. Pittsburgh, you have a little bit of a different, a little bit different aura to you. Sure. Probably what makes this show good, actually, is because I think people are being introduced to it because most people from Pittsburgh either never leave Pittsburgh, and if they leave from Pittsburgh, they're told to never act like you're from Pittsburgh ever again. But I'm very proud to be from Pittsburgh. Diggs very proud to be from Pittsburgh. Nick's very proud to be from Pittsburgh. It was never really given a national spotlight on a regular occasion. There's a couple shows that were shot out of there, I believe, not that famous. There's movies that were shot out of there. But the Yinzer, which is what people from Pittsburgh are really called, has never really been described. Let me tell you what a Yinzer is. A Yinzer is a hard-working, drinking, tough son of a bitch. Okay, that's just what it is. Fast talking, will talk shit to you. It is probably coming out a little bit negative, expecting you to send one in return, and then we're just going to move along. That is kind of how Pittsburgh people are. In that strip of bars being as big as it is, with how drunk people get, with what I just said about Yinzers, you could see how potential 1 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m., almost a war zone out there. Yeah. Like legit, whenever UFC came into the world and made a big thing and affliction shirts were like the costume of UFC watchers, and you got a chance like, okay, this person has watched Chuck Liddell punch somebody in the face and do an armbar or a tackle, so this person thinks they can do that as well. When's the perfect time for that person to display that new trick that they have found from watching UFC on TV? 2:30, 3 a.m. Carson Street, Southside. Everybody's drunk. You got to do it. So it's just a known place that if you're on Carson Street in the Southside, you have to have your head on a swivel. It's just how it is. If it gets late night, I didn't even know there was an after-hours bar on Carson Street. I've been to an after-hours bar in Pittsburgh, in downtown Pittsburgh. I think I've been to one in the North Shore. Diggs actually referred to a Russian one that he's been to before. But Southside closes. And when Southside closes, everybody goes out onto the street. And that is when you have to keep your head on a swivel out there. Did not even know there's an after-hours bar, but if we were to go into the Boom Boom Room, I believe we would all say, hey, same mindset as when we're on the street. It is 3 a.m. We are still in Southside. I guess it is being alleged that Aaron Donald, although probably not wearing an affliction shirt, did get into an altercation. And surprise, surprise, the man that is potentially described as the greatest football player to ever play, trains with knives in the offseason, apparently, allegedly, knocked this fucking guy out. Big time. Big time. This is nowhere near the first fight that has happened on this street. This is probably, maybe, I would say there's probably 7 figures worth of fights that have happened on that street. Legitimately. You are just walking around and you are seeing people just get clipped off some nights. Now, granted, there's some nights where everybody's in unison and it's a big family. It's awesome. How you doing? But then those nights, all it takes is one One just, and then, of course, can't fuck him, take him down anywhere, this guy. You know what I mean? Yeah. We had friends in our groups that were the assholes, too. Like, we all had friends in our groups that were the assholes that were starting fights. We would tell them not to, don't do it. It's just something that happens down there. So I'm happy the world is getting to learn about the south side of Pittsburgh. I don't want you to ever fear going there because it's a great time. It is an absolute blast. But whenever you're moving after the clubs, you just need to know, like, hey, there's a chance something could pop off around here. Mm-hmm. Other than that, though, everybody's on the same page. It's Mardi Gras every night there. Everybody's ready to have a good time. But anybody that knows that type of life, whenever the doors open and whenever things get late, there's always a chance shit could pop off. It seems like allegedly Aaron Donald was a part of this. I would like to hear his defense because I would assume there's a potential full story to this thing.
Yeah, and just based off what we know of the guy, and we met him at the Super Bowl, he's very calm and kind of like mild-mannered and not very, you'd think that if
he knows he's Aaron Donald.
Exactly. He's not just looking for fights. I would assume this guy was doing some outlandish stuff.
Now this is what people are going to say. Why was Aaron Donald at the Boom Boom Room at 3 a.m.?
Enjoying his offseason.
Yeah, come on. This is what people say, though. With that much money, or Aaron Donald, blah, blah, blah. And to your guys' point, he likes to have a good time.
He's back home
He's with his
playing.
friends. He's donated, by the way, an entire facility, I think, to the University of Pittsburgh back there. He just, you know what I mean? That's going to be the first take is, why is Aaron Donald at a place at 3 a.m.? It's like, maybe just want to have a fucking good time.
He's a hard worker. He's blowing off some steam.
Hey, so sorry. By the way, Wiz Khalifa sings an entire song, Work Hard, Play Hard. That's kind of Pittsburgh, by the way. That is just kind of Pittsburgh and Wiz Khalifa, by the way.
In the video, he's in an after-hours bar.
Yeah, so, I mean, that is just kind of how... it's just it's the city. I don't like that. I'm not saying it. If you felt like you were wrongly assaulted, press charges, do what you got to do. Okay, I understand. But this feels like this is potentially a situation that happened at 3 a.m. between two people, and one guy happens to have, $700 bazillion.
Yeah, exactly.
And the other guy doesn't. But that is why people say you can't put yourself in that situation. Aaron Donald would probably learn from this. He's probably going to be a hermit now, if I had to guess.
As an 8-year resident of Southside Pittsburgh.
I don't know how. I don't know how you live down there. I have no idea.
Everyone's fighting down. And I texted my buddy. It was actually the Polish Army Veterans Association that we drank.
Oh, so it wasn't the Russians.
It wasn't the Russians.
Okay.
It was
the Polish. Hey, by the way, the Polacks will keep their place open for you.
Cash only operation, obviously.
Yeah, the Polacks are counting all that too.
Yeah. But don't be scared to go to Southside. It just you act as if.
Act as if.
Don't stop. Don't stop moving.
Yeah, because then you're in somebody's way, and then there's a potential
bump. That's probably what happened. It was an accidental bump situation. Things get out of control. Everyone's peeing in the alleys down there.
It is insane. It is a good time. I feel like it hardened me. It made me ready for just about anything. And I had obviously done Southside much long before I did Bourbon Street or whatever. And I go down to Bourbon, and I just had an absolute blast. I was like, it's a good time. And at the end of the night, I was just walking around. I was the last I think we were the last people walking through the street of Bourbon, whatever. I'm like, this is kind of nice, man. Like, this is a really nice place. Everybody's celebrating. It's cool. And there's no chance that you have to potentially, not get hit. And I think that's the difference. Like Bourbon Street's been marketed and commercialized. Southside is for the people of Pittsburgh. Like, hey, listen, we know what you guys like. We put an alcohol tax in. Okay, so they put an alcohol tax in Allegheny County. They projected a certain amount of money to be made. The people that run Pittsburgh, expectations of Yinzers when they put an alcohol tax in. I think it was 8 times their projection of what they were going to make. Or
I think it's more 10, 12.
10 to 12. 10 to 12. I wonder if the city council was like, holy shit, we got a fucking problem. Because it's not a lot of people traveling from out of town to come drink in Pittsburgh. It's Pittsburgh people having a good time all the time, basically, which is why I was so confused on why I was getting shackled for the public intoxication in Indianapolis. That was a little bit of a culture shock for me. I do apply, actually. For what? What is? Oh, this isn't Southside of Pittsburgh. Okay, this isn't Morgantown, West Virginia. I got it. Okay, this is. Oh, you guys are saying you're a civilized place. I mistook it, by the way. I mistook what we were doing, but it is getting a national spotlight. You should experience the Southside of Pittsburgh, but fucking have a little bit of wherewithal, a little self-awareness of what's going on.
Most of the problems happen on the street, and I think that is because of the open container law. You're not allowed to have drinks on the street like Mardi Gras, like Bourbon Street. I think if you were allowed to drink on the street, people just
Still
act
be
like,
drunk.
Yeah, like it's a party out here too.
As opposed to all the party's over.
Yeah.
Because that is they shut down the bars and everybody goes to the street. It's just like, oh, now I didn't want to end. Some Yinzer, what's going on?
Perfect example of that, just a real quick story. I had a buddy walking down the street when the bars closed. It was after 2 a.m. walking down the street. Car drives by, 4 guys in like a blazer. They drive by. They yell a disparaging remark out the window to my buddy. My buddy yells one back. Car circles the block. One guy gets out of the car. They fist fight about 15, 20 seconds. Both big fat stooges run out of energy, just stand there, stare at each other. Then they give each other fist bump, head nod, and go their separate ways.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what Southside is. Now we got lawsuits and everything.
That's what I did with the Ravens fan. We squared off.
Threw 2 punches.
Threw 2 punches, fucking shook hands, and walked the other way.
And by the way, that did happen. And another situation that happened with Diggs on the south side of Pittsburgh on Carson Street is you and a couple buddies.
3 of us total.
Got
versus Buff Bagwell. Didn't end well for us.
You don't say.
But the bouncer of at that time, Diesel did see it and was like, "That was awesome. You guys want a table upstairs?"
For those that don't know about what happened, you would have to be listening to this show for the last 4 years, every episode. There are a couple people that got that reference, and we appreciate them. But this same place that we are referring to here is where the University of Duquesne parties at. That is kind of like their area. And Duquesne is not that big of a school. No. They're playing on the weekends, though. They're a pretty good team, actually. And Diggs was walking down there with 2 of his friends in a Cadillac Escalade, I believe.
Yeah, we were walking in the crosswalk we were supposed to be. They weren't happy about that.
Yeah, they're beeping the horn of the Escalade. So obviously Diggs, Pittsburgh, yells something back.
Fuck you!
Hey, fuck off! One guy gets out of Cadillac Escalade.
Well, first he put his bicep out the window as kind of a warning sign, like, you know, when the red flag's up, when the current's rough in the sea.
Yeah, the sharks.
He put that out. That was not adhered.
No, yeah.
Then he got out and
oh, what's that? Oh, you got fucking curls. Good for you, dude. Okay, put it in park. Guy gets out, knocks out all 3 of you, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And then he just gets in his car, drives around you. You 3 get up and go about having a night.
Yeah.
Which leads us to the final point. That is what Southside is. Okay? It's a good time, but there is a chance that it's going to happen, and you just got to charge it to the game, and you just move along.
Yeah.
I hope everybody's okay.
Absolutely.
All right, let's get to a phone call, shall we?
How do you think Young...
Oh, shit, we got a phone call. Oh. No, we don't. No. Jeez. We got to get 205.
205. 205.
I was going to say.
I thought Will Zalatoris was sitting on there.
Listening?
Just for that entire thing. Will, what are you doing?
He'd get it. You can tell he's been in a few.
Will?
Yeah.
I think Will probably had a good time or two. I don't know. Not every place is... Wow, I almost word vomit there a couple times. Not every place is like that, by the way, I have learned. You know, where... No. Not every place.
Not many. I'd say few are like that.
I was very lucky.
I feel like a lot of the places that this group in this office is from, though.
Not very normal. Yeah. Boston, insane place. Yeah. And Fox is just from that town that never wins, you know, but the good people, though. Good, gritty town. Out there in the middle of Iowa where, you know.
John Wayne Gacy.
Man of the year.
Yeah. This guy.
We got the Bronx back there. We got Canada, but.
Zeet from Turtle Creek, you know.
Oh, yeah, you're 100% right.
Also
Turtle Creek.
Pittsburgh.
Yeah, Turtle Creek, yeah. Zeet's on vacation, by the way. We miss you, Zeet.
Enjoy, Zeet.
God, I hate, though, that I feel like people are potentially not going to go to the South Side for the way we just described it. And then I think, though, there will be people that will go.
It reached the right people.
Yeah, for the way we described it. It might not be for you.
I mean, you don't find that kind of chivalrous, like, hey, we're both going to punch each other in the face, try to knock each other out, and just say, hey, you know what? Have a good night.
Good scrap.
So in this room, in the pretty recent world that we do live in, Nick has seen it happen on his own independent. Diggs has been a part of it and seen it, and I've seen it 2 times. So that is, 5 times just the people in this room have seen that happen on the street where this went down.
It's awesome.
I've seen a few too. So.
There's 7.
Make a couple digits at least, probably.
Yeah, and Jay, by the way, he hangs out at much different places on Southside than I would go to, and I assume it's the same attitude over there.
Well, that's the nice part. There's bars for everybody.
Yeah,
they got clubs. You want to dance your ass off. They got little dive bars. You want to play pool. They got it all.
Yeah, for sure.
They had the Hofbrauhaus there for a little bit.
Still there.
See, it's closed down in some cities.
There's the nice end where like that's at, and then there's the hole in the wall end,
where Jack's
and you kind of got to find the middle. You know?
Hey, by the way, I would assume the Boom Boom Room is down there where I was doing a lot of my work at.
Probably a low block.
Yeah, I would assume it was down there where we were kind of out there. They had a dueling piano bar that was in a church one time. You remember that took over for like 3-4 weeks down there. That was the big thing.
It was sweet.
It was so far down though. You had to walk so far. I was like, I'm not fucking going.
We were walking in there, and the owner was giving us all like 18 of us shots. Taffer would have lost his fucking mind.
Hey, you're not making any money. Who's paying for this? It's me. It's my building. Oh! Let's go to. Anyways, it's a wild place.
Yeah, I mean, the cell's good, too. You go to the casino, lose your money. You go to Southside, get your ass beat. What a vacation you just had right there in one night.
That was when you used to say, that's where I went to vacation when you were in the NFL to everybody. That's awesome.
That's legitimately where I would spend my off seasons at. I'd be in Indianapolis. I would pass out for like 2-3 days. Then I would just pack a suitcase, show up on their couch. I was sleeping on couches.
Yeah.
Like literally just sleeping on couches. I would show up. They'd be at work. They would realize I was there. They knew what that meant. It's Wednesday.
Let's go.
They got work tomorrow, but I'm bored, so we got to go do this. Then I would disappear for a couple of days. Maybe I'd get a call like, hey, we got something going on down here in Miami. You want to come in? Yep. So I'd pack a bag, go down there, come back, sleep a couple of days, then go back to Pittsburgh. I was there every other weekend probably for the off season, maybe every other week there for the off season. It was glorious. I came back, probably 250 pounds, 260 pounds.
There we go.
I was bad at kicking balls then too. I was living recklessly, but we were having a fucking time though. Right?
You did, and you managed to stay out of trouble. You just let everyone fight around you while you stay at the bar and order more rounds of shots.
Smart. Bro, listen, when you go to Southside, you have to have the mindset. Listen, I cannot be getting cold clocked right now.
No.
And if there's a fight, I cannot be there for the end of it because that's when everybody kind of gets caught or whatever. So I was a part of some potential dust-ups, but boy, I found myself in very smart positions on a regular basis. I come out of a bathroom one time, all right, there's a bathroom on the other side. This place is at Jimmy D's. I would assume this is near the Boom Boom Room, okay, so same attitude, same mindset. We ended there every single night. I actually talked to somebody from Pittsburgh who's much younger than me at the Final Four. He's a trainer for the Colts now. He's from Pittsburgh. He's a Pittsburgh kid. I heard him say Don, and I was like,
excuse me?
Are you from Pittsburgh? He was like, yeah. I was like, oh man, nice to meet you or whatever. He's like, thanks. When I start getting some beers in me or whatever, the down starts coming. I'm like, you're awesome. Let's talk a little bit or whatever. And I go, you party in Southside? He's like, yeah, you have to, right? I mean, you kind of have to. I was like, where'd you go? He's like, Jimmy D's. I was like, oh, me too. And he goes, you go to the second floor? I was like, yeah. He was like, that was a wasteland up there. I'm like, yeah, that's where we ended every single night up there. Like that's where everybody kind of ended their night. Then you kind of get tossed outside. To get to the bathroom, you got to walk through the dance floor, past the DJ. Ooh. Okay, and then the bar was on the other side. So I go, every time you go to the bathroom, you got to do the, of course. Oh, you're awesome. Yeah, and it's just like a zombie fest out there, because everybody is either drugged or drunk out of their mind at this point because it's 1:30 or 2 a.m. So you're just kind of like bebopping around. You go to the bathroom. I come back. I do a full dance, and I get to the side of the bar. It's like an L shape or whatever. And I'm sitting there, and it was always the same move. Like, hey, I need 100 shots here. Like, let's go. We know what we're doing here. And as I'm ordering, I'm in the middle of it. I hear a little bit of a commotion. I look over, and Nick's the tallest guy in the bar at this point. Yeah. And I look over, and Nick's just like this, staring at me. There's a fight starting in front of him. So then Nick just grabs this random guy, He puts him in like a full Nelson almost. No, a full Nelson with your arms. The owner of Jimmy D's comes flying in and starts spearing the guy that Nick is holding. So Nick and the owner of the place are basically
It's always good to be on the side of the owner.
Bingo. So like I'm looking over there at the fight, and Nick's like looking at me while this is going down. I see the owner come flying in. I'm like, okay, the owner and the bouncers are on Nick's side. I don't have to fucking go.
No, you're good.
So I ordered the shots. Shots were finished. When the scrap got dusted out, those guys got kicked out. Boys and owner came over.
Congratulations,
Congratulations, boys. Oh, dude.
That is the great. If you're a veteran of a city or a place or a regular something like that, and a scrap happens and the other guy gets tossed and you get a drink.
Yes.
It's always a nice situation.
It's very nice whenever, You
I'm not getting kicked out. This is our bar, pal.
You got to spend a lot of money to get to that point, by the way. I realized. I think it takes I don't know, maybe $70,000 over maybe. I mean, that's probably a good guesstimation. We were trying. We were trying our best. Just like, hey, who knows if I'm ever going to have this money again? let's go ahead and enjoy the fuck. I went to Africa. I went to Europe.
That's awesome.
I was in Pittsburgh. I was everywhere. I was like, let's just have it. I went back to training camp after that off season. Way overweight. Not good enough to kick balls at all. Had a blast. And probably like $1,000 left in my account. And the money doesn't come until the season starts or whatever. And it was like, I got no debt, but I also might have no money. So let's go ahead and get these game checks back. I had to get better. And then almost got cut immediately for doing Southside in Indianapolis on a Tuesday during a bye week. Let's go to Jaden in Orlando. Jaden, what's going on?
Holy shit. You can hear me?
Yeah, Jaden, you sound great, actually. I appreciate you, buddy.
That's fucking crazy. I can't believe that I'm dead ass. All right, so.
Well, you're not good at you are now, pal. Let's go, Jaden.
I want to fucking shout you guys out for real because.
Shut up.
You guys, I mean, you know, you guys don't like to talk about, like, that you, like, how stupid this show is, how great it is at the same time.
No, we don't.
But you guys really inspire a lot of people, bro. Like, you guys do this shit by yourself. That's awesome, bro. Like,
well, we appreciate that. It's not by ourselves, by the way. It's as a team.
Nah, but you know what I mean? Like, you could tell when, like, it's not staged, you know? Like, I don't think you guys have really any plan into what you guys are going to talk about. And it's great. Like, that's what a lot of people love to see. Like, it's just, like, your natural personality.
Thank you, Jaden. That means a lot. Jaden, that means a lot. And I want to let you know, we are too dumb to stage anything. Yeah, that's what we have learned. You got to know your sweet spot. Appreciate that call, Jaden. That was very nice of him.
Good guy.
Thank you, Jaden.
Let's not do that every call, but that's very nice of him. JR in Florida. What do you want to talk about, pal? Big Florida show, huh?
Okay.
Here we go. Here we go.
Good, boys.
Maybe.
Pat and the boys, how you fucking doing today, guys?
Hey, life is great, JR. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic, beautiful and sunny down here. I'm on break, smoking some vitamins. Don't tell OSHA. How's it going?
Oh, okay. So you're in a restaurant, I believe. Is that what that is?
Could be working a construction site or something.
Oh, OSHA? What is OSHA?
OSHA is the governing body of construction sites, pretty much. Making
Oh,
sure you're following the rules.
Oh, okay. So,
You got your steel toes on.
yeah, what do you?
Have a helmet on.
You do the sledgehammer thing. You got the big jackknife. What do you do on this?
You on the goon spoon?
Hey, what do you?
I'm doing some painting down here. I got my Bubba Gumpino vibe.
Painting?
You know,
Here we go.
What are you slinging?
you know, we got some flat white and doing some ceilings today. You know?
Oh, nice. Is that Valspar?
No, we got P&G.
Pittsburgh Paints, baby.
Yeah, Pittsburgh Paints. You're welcome, by the way. The same place that's being talked about with the fighting actually created that. What do you want to talk about?
Real quick, so a couple things about the Ravens. I know we got Justin Houston. Came into a visit. I wanted to know what you thought about him, especially with Jadeveon Clowney going to Cleveland. We really need a pass rusher.
Yeah, so do we.
I think we should fucking just send it on him, honestly.
JR, good question, good comment. So the Ravens and Colts were allegedly keeping an eye on the Jadeveon Clowney situation, which would probably have ended this past weekend if it wasn't for weather issues with a flight where he was supposed to travel to Cleveland to meet with them a second time. That got pushed to today because the flight got delayed or canceled or whatever. He signs with the Cleveland Browns. They tried to get him last year. Now, reports came out that Cleveland offered him a 3-year, $50-some million deal. Other people have said that was not 100% accurate. It was a differently structured deal. So who knows where it is. There was interest on both sides last offseason. The Cleveland Browns win games with Stefanski, get to a playoff game, win a playoff game. Myles Garrett, Jadeveon Clowney, now together for at least 1 year with a deal worth up to $10 million. The Browns are signing free agent pass rusher Jadeveon Clowney to a 1-year deal after he passed his physical, sources say, landing a player who has been a target of Cleveland's for years. Fresh off a lost season in 2020, Clowney has high hopes with his new team. He's a disruptor on that Cleveland Browns team. They're a team that can make a run. They have a lot of talent on the offensive side of the ball, especially with Odell Beckham coming back. Mm-hmm. Now you got Myles Garrett. I think Olivier Vernon, was he a free agent?
Yeah, he's free agent.
He's free agent, so who knows what happens there, right? Who knows? Has he been signed anywhere?
No, he's been 12 sacks last year, though.
He had a big-time year, and I remember a couple highlight plays out of Olivier Vernon in big-time situations as well. He's a free agent as well. Let's see how that whole thing shapes up. He might be back. But, man, the thought of Jadeveon Clowney and Myles Garrett walking off the bus first, just wherever, however, to do whatever. I mean, it is something that is the Browns needed a little bit more depth on the defensive side. They get it. Can Clowney play in a fashion that is going to help the Cleveland Browns be much better at football? Yes. Can Clowney play in a fashion that'll make the critics in the media potentially give him more respect, which would be a high stat having and everything like that? I'm not sure if that's his style of play anymore. I think he is just a disruptor of the game, and I can't wait to see him with Cleveland. Good for Cleveland, bad for the AFC North.
Yeah, I don't know. So losing Olivier Vernon and getting Clowney, I don't know if they got any better there, but I know they definitely didn't get worse. So as far as the offseason goes, as long as you're not getting worse and you're at least staying the same, we're potentially getting better with Clowney's potential. It's
How much money? They got money, huh? Cleveland still has some money.
Oh, yes.
They still have some money. So Olivier might be back, by the way. It might be Myles Garrett, Jadeveon Clowney, Olivier Vernon on that defensive line with an offense that is, filled with talent.
Yeah.
And that's what you need whenever somebody gets hurt. You're good. They got 2 great running backs. Got Jarvis Landry, who's a stud. Austin Hooper and Njoku at tight end. You got Baker, who played his best football last year, and more specifically towards the end of last year. And Odell Beckham's coming back. The defense played good football whenever they had to. And now, look out for the Browns. Yeah. They said, and by they I meant Juju, said the Browns is the Browns. The Browns isn't the Browns anymore, it feels like.
Now beat the Chiefs.
Legit.
Yeah.
Chad Henne. If it wasn't for that Henne, they were done.
Roll out 4th and 1. I completely forgot about that.
Yeah.
Chad Henne, by the way, what a fucking play.
Oh, my God.
Good for him. We forget about those moments.
Well, you also forget about the pick he threw before that.
Oh, yeah. All right, well.
It's more of a punt.
I completely forgot that Chad Henne played.
If you're the Ravens now, too, with Orlando, it's Orlando Brown Jr., I believe, the left tackle that they wants to get traded.
Right tackle? No, guard. They moved to left tackle.
Yeah, after Staley.
And now, after somebody got hurt, he played the entire season, was very good at it. Now they want to move him back to guard or right tackle.
Yeah.
Right tackle. And I would assume him, his family, and a lot of people around him are saying, do you know how much more money it is on the other side over there? You were very good. We're not going back to the right tackle side, even though they got a guy who's a perennial pro. What are they going to do with that, you think?
Especially if he wants to get traded. Apparently his dad was like, hey, you have to play left tackle. Left tackles are the linemen that are the guys, and I believe he passed. And now it's like a real big thing for him to stay at left tackle. But if you have Clowney and, Myles Garrett, you got to do everything to keep him at least on the right side, right?
Oh, what are you talking about? With the Ravens thinking about the AFC North now, we're going to have to protect on both sides. What if they get Olivier back? Then you think about it. Olivier and Myles were still
then they're
yeah.
But here we go.
Top 3
The AFC North, it's hot in the kitchen up there.
It is.
Hey, you got to make sure you're cooking up there. The Bengals were even cooking this offseason.
I was looking at the website for cap space, and it says the Browns have $13 million. I don't know if it's before or after Clowney.
Up to 10, so who knows what they're doing with salary cap and signing bonus and everything like that. In other news, Aldon Smith is visiting with the Seattle Seahawks, okay? Aldon Smith, Carlos Dunlap just got signed back to the Seattle Seahawks. The defense for the Seattle Seahawks was problematic last year. Some unfortunate injuries happened. They could never really find a flow until late in the season. Then whenever they found it, the offense seemed to kind of fall off. They just couldn't really put it together. Aldon Smith had a massive bounce back year, not only professionally, but obviously personally. He went through it in San Fran, and by through it, I mean he fucked up. He made a lot of mistakes. He took some time off. I think he probably got some things figured out. Last year, 5 sacks for the Dallas Cowboys. Got back into, I would assume, a lot of people's trust and good graces. I'm happy as hell for him. I hope he continues to have a great career and can bounce back from the mistakes he made whenever he was young. Seattle is a place that could use more and more people on the defensive side of the ball, especially ones that can produce.
Well, so go ahead, buddy.
It's weird. Geno Atkins is still on the board. He's a perfect guy for Seattle, especially with Dunlap. They already have a relationship. What
if Geno, by the way, OG, wasn't he getting into it in Cincy allegedly for how everything was going? What if he's just waiting until all right, you guys are boycotting OTAs? I'll just sign later, dude. Yeah. I ain't worried about this whole thing. What were you going to say, Gump?
Seahawks tried to trade for him during the season last year, too.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so Pete Carroll and the squad up there, Schneider, are very interested in old Aldon Smith. Also, the Buffalo Bills will have full stadiums.
Yeah!
Full stadiums!
Yeah!
Come on! Hot dog!
Yes!
Yeah!
Hey, Roger Goodell said it.
Mm-hmm.
Jonathan Kraft gave out the whys to it.
Thank you, Johnny.
And now the Buffalo Bills said, listen, you get vaccinated, you get in here.
Oh.
Standing room only, we don't care as long as you got the Fachi, Achi, you can watchy the Bills play.
Let's go.
Bring in your dildos, go through the tables, do what you got to do. We got a good team, by the way. Can't wait to have you back as long as you got the Fachi, Achi up there in Buffalo.
Is that all teams now? That it has to be vaccinated?
So Buffalo's in New York. New York has been pretty strict, right?
Yeah.
People forget that Buffalo's the only New York team really in the NFL because the New York Jets and New York Giants are both in New Jersey, which is under different restrictions and shit like that. So Buffalo Bills, very far away from the epicenter of the beginning of Uncle COVID, had to abide by the same rules as everything that was going on there because they're upstate New York, and I think they say Western New York, not even upstate New York. I think upstate's Syracuse. I apologize for saying that, Buffalo. I love your city and everything like that. But they had very strict rules last year. No fans at all, I think, for the entire time. Now, something is happening. Is it the mayor? Is it the governor? Is it council? What is it saying? Hey, we're making a decision right now. I don't know. I don't care. I just know that what I just heard from people who probably know more than I do and more than most people do say, you get the Achi, get your ass in the stadium.
Yes!
Do you think this applies to the Bills Mafia tailgate as well, or is it just that you think so?
Yeah, I don't know if they're going to be going around. Maybe they will be going around asking for the Fachi card.
Yeah.
But it's going to be tough whenever that snow starts falling to really keep track of whose Fachi card is what.
Well, I got ketchup and mustard all over mine. What do you mean?
I didn't laminate it.
Yeah. They seem pretty easy to duplicate and replicate, so.
Well, they're telling people not to post photos of them, actually, because it does seem like something that maybe our old school printer could have printed up if we had the words per minute computer class.
Oh, yeah.
Of course.
All the right type.
What's that?
All the right type.
That's a good name for that
That's
class.
what it was called.
Ours was just typing class.
Ours was just some
Oh, really?
Yeah. Stupid. That's a very good name. Why didn't you guys ever tell anybody in America that you guys named it
I
that?
probably tried to. Does the Johnson & Johnson count to get into the stadium?
Which one? The one that they said don't do anymore?
Yeah.
The blood clot one.
The denominator one or the other one?
Yeah. The denominator one, Tony.
Is that legal?
I believe you do get, like at Subway, when they're doing the buy 10 footlongs, get one free, you got to get your card stamped.
Oh, yeah.
I do believe, even the ones that are potentially up in conversation, I do believe the card has been stamped.
I think so.
Feels like the Johnson & Johnson one's the one that they scoff at. Like, oh,
No.
geez.
I imagine that's the one you're going to need to get into the Jets stadium.
Which one?
The Johnson & Johnson.
Oh, because Woody.
Because of Woody.
Oh, because.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Is that where he.
That's like, yeah, his great-grandfather, I believe, started Johnson & Johnson.
And it got passed down to him?
Mm-hmm.
He owns Johnson & Johnson and the Jets right now?
I don't know how much of it he owns or what his stake in it is.
He's got to have $1 trillion. They're saying Dave Tepper.
He's worth like 10 bill.
But he's not as rich as Dave Tepper, who is a philanthropist.
That's right.
How did he make his money if he's just giving it away?
Well, he's a philanthropist. That's it. You look at hedge fund manager also.
Oh, sure, but
philanthropist.
mainly of the thing.
Great grandson of the founder of Johnson & Johnson.
So did he get Johnson & Johnson? Because I assume that Pfizer, Johnson & Johnson, them are printing money at this point.
Oh, yeah.
That was a big race there during the COVID days, whenever we were all kind of chilling, not knowing what was going on. I assume all those pharmacists were like, scientists, listen, socially distance your fucking asses into a lab right now. We need to figure this thing out, because if we do, potential endless amount of money.
Yeah, nice little bonus in it for you.
Endless amount of money here, potentially.
Printing it.
So now we got 4 or 5 of them, right? Is that how many? 3 of them?
Three.
Three of them.
One of them being recalled due to the
2 from Johnson & Johnson, 1 from Pfizer.
Moderna.
Moderna has one. Moderna,
The
Pfizer.
Funky, Cole,
Moderna. Yes.
How's that one doing? Is that one taking anybody out?
I don't think so.
That one's good.
Sounds pretty good, actually.
Hey, if you're just getting into stadiums, though, let's go.
Yeah.
People are gonna say, well, you're forcing people to do stuff. You're forcing people to take a vaccine.
Tell you what, you need something put in your body to go into a stadium this year. Just give me the full virus. I don't care.
You're in a unicorn.
Put it right. Hey,
Don't care.
put it right into that syringe. Shoot that thing right into my heart.
I'm singing Renegade in the 4th quarter. I don't give a fuck, dude. Fuck it up.
Here
we go.
No,
That's right. Yeah, that's exactly. Do that one.
Here we go. Here we go, Steelers. Here we go.
We gotta get to a break. Sounds like we beat COVID, though.
Yeah, it sure does sound like it.
Even if we did it, full stadium.
Sounds like we beat COVID. 40 minutes in hour 2 here. We'll be back on the other side. This is the Pat McAfee Show.
Hey, Jet fans, your boy Stink, and allow me once again to be the bigger person. You guys just can't graciously accept my heartfelt and sincere apology. No, you got to come after me on Twitter like a bunch of yipping dogs. Yeah. And I could continue to go along smacking you down one by one, but it dawned on me it's not a fair fight, right? Because you guys don't know how to talk smack because you've never won anything. So I want to give you some rules of engagement for Twitter. Okay, number 1, let's not talk about the lack of other people's championships. Come on, seriously. I mean, I was dispensing justice and winning back-to-back championships before most of you guys were an itch in your daddy's pants. And the last time the Jets were relevant, your dad wasn't an itch in your granddaddy's pants. So stop. Number 2, guys, let's not talk about the lack of success of other teams' quarterbacks when you guys haven't produced a quarterback worth a squirt of piss since Joe Willie Namath. Number 3, if you're going to poke the bear, you can't cry victim when the bear bites back, guys. Just hike up your big boy panties and take your L, okay? And then lastly, the national media and the National Football League do not have a bias against your football team. Guys, you don't think we're all capitalists? Come on. You don't think we want the teams in the greatest city in America, the Big Apple, to be successful? When the national media says that your team sucks, that's not bias. That's just simply reporting the news. My good friend Jerome Bettis used to say this all the time, and I concur with his assessment. If everywhere you go it smells like shit, it's probably you. I hope you guys found this helpful. Have a great day.
Travis called heads.
No!
Sorry.
You're not sorry.
I'm sorry that it worked out this way, but I told you.
You're not
I had
sorry.
to trust my instincts. You asked me what I thought. I thought it was going to be heads. I didn't
What about
want to
Travis
have a ticket. I
Kelce
didn't know
going
you
out
put
there?
$30K on it.
Yeah, I mean, was that the cleanest toss of all time?
No, it was terrible.
But that thing took one bang straight in. What a horse shit toss.
They watered the field. Old Notre Dame versus USC. They raised the grass.
You son of a bitch.
We all know that wasn't a fair coin toss.
No, it was
They should
not.
redo it.
It was a lot worse than 50-50 after fucking watching it.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people say that's why you don't bet 30,000 on a coin toss. You know?
Seems like a reasonable thing to bet 30K on.
Because you got no control. You got no control, guys. So I guess not even like a thought could go into it.
Well, Christmas is canceled.
Yeah, we're giving away a lot, but nowhere near as much as we once had thought.
No.
Remember that double 70K? Take it back.
Yeah, for sure. FanDuel just made so much money right there.
Use.
Giving the old white guys something to complain about. It's the Pat McAfee Show.
We didn't get a chance to play this enough because Channing was joining us.
Of course.
By the way, he is
live from the Heartland, USA, where dreams go to die and your friends get sent away. Working to survive 9 to 5 every day. Spend your paycheck up at Walmart and
Chick-fil-A.
Pull up in a Honda, baby, wing.
By the way, that drive-thru is going to be quick.
Talking a lot of Taco Bell, I need a mouse sauce now. You asking a lot of questions, looking like a cop now. Eat your chicken quesadilla, baby girl, and calm down. Who that? Country boy with the flow, that's me. Might rock cowboy boots and Supreme. Might put a lift kid on my Jeep. Might buy me a can of wintergreen.
Hey,
bars.
Hey, listen, he might be signed to a label now. I might not be allowed to play this.
Yeah. Possible.
More than likely.
I have followed him on Twitter for a long time now at this point. And, listen, Twitter, we don't need you doing what Zuck does, okay?
Yeah.
Zuck with Facebook and Instagram, there's an algorithm. They pick and choose what gets seen by who and when and everything like that. It's like, I appreciate that computers are smart enough to do that, but Twitter has tried that a couple of different times, a couple of different algorithms. Anyways, I hadn't seen him on the timeline in a long time.
Really?
He pops out of nowhere. It was like, it was like a nostalgia. It was like, oh my God, I fucking forgot about this guy. And by the way, thanks to Twitter for, however, deciding to put him back into my life, which is very
He's
nice.
ready now.
I've followed him for like 8 years at this point. Thanks for bringing it back. It was like a reunion. And I was like, man, I forgot. And then I forgot he put this song on. I go over to Spotify to see if it's on there or whatever, put on place. 1.5 million plays.
Holy shit.
Hey, this dude's doing it.
That's massive.
Well, you heard what he just fucking said
Massive.
there.
Yeah.
Just came off the winter green line here.
Nectar of the gods.
Jake, we get sound?
Might just cap a F-150, whip it like it's a Mercedes. Might show up in camouflage with entourage of VMAs. Oh my gosh, it's Wavy Davy. Yeah, he's back and misbehaving. I'm that young stunner. I don't like no drama. She do what she wanna. I do any genre. It's feeling like a good old West Virginia summer. Hit me if you got my number. See, I'm at church on a Sunday, hard at work on a Monday. I'm a truck at a Main Street light. Yeah, I'm the kid next door sitting on the front porch who grew up here all of his life. I said, baby, I'm a fighter. I'ma stay up all night. I'm trying to make it just as fast as I can.
How fast you can,
I'm American scheming, I'm American dreaming, coming live from this heartland. I'm from a place not so far away.
Oh, man. Hey, fucking David Morris goes absolutely hamski. Has that pro day started?
I don't know. I
have
believe
not
it was
seen any
not.
tweets or
Okay,
anything.
so there's nothing really to talk
I
about.
also believe it wasn't being televised.
It wasn't?
No. From a few, I
Is
tried
that
to do a little
because
research.
Is that because the Mac Jones second one was like immediately like, oh, he did worse, and then everybody was from the place was like, no, he actually did better. Talk to Devontae Smith in the plane, or why is it on TV?
You only allow one televised pro day per year per person.
Do assume they probably set up for the first day and didn't expect there to be another one. And then, cameras are in one place, you need them in another.
I know the show is for the listeners and the viewers all the time.
Of course.
Yeah.
Most of the time, I mean. There's a lot of things that have continually, graduated to like just becoming like for us.
Yeah,
enjoying.
of course.
Sure.
I completely forgot about how fucking good David Morris was at rapping for a long time.
Yeah.
Okay? He went by DY for a long time. I talked to you about that. He had like this macchiato flow or something like this. He went on at this one point. He was a singer at one point.
Ooh.
This guy, hey, now we're going to get a strike from this. What song do you want to play next from this guy?
What are the names?
Is that the most played song?
That is the most played
What's the
song.
second most played song?
Let me go. Fans also like overview. Okay, so this one's got 2.2 million. Sounds like a love song though. Does he know about us? So he's on the side here.
What else
we don't
got?
need that.
He will find out.
Some things are for us. He will, by the way. This one's called F350 Freestyle.
Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
Oh.
Yeah.
You hear that?
96 pulls.
Don't want a Porsche, don't want Ferrari. I want a Grizzly, I want a Harley. I want a 6.7 pound stroke diesel F250 with a lift kit on it. I want a
Spark.
Yeah, it does.
Have a farm or some land somewhere. Couple cows, couple dogs, couple barns, and some brand new green John Deere. I want
Exactly. This guy knows what the fuck's going on.
No, we got to move along. Okay.
Dave Morris.
Shout out David Morris.
Let's go.
Shout out. Bro, he makes fucking bangers. Yeah. If we don't, are we going to get a strike for that? Oh my God, here's Billy.
I don't know if we're getting a strike. I believe this guy's actually gigantic on TikTok.
Really?
I've heard these songs before, just scrolling through.
Okay, go David. Baby. Let's go, Wavy Davy.
Him and Chet.
Listen. If Chet Hanks and David Morris were to sit down in a room, I forget what the name of the show was on MTV. Next Great White Rapper, I believe, is what it was. That was a real show. I think that's where old buddy with the hair, MTV.
Jesse.
No, that was a VJ. Please have a little bit of respect. A little bit difference between a video jockey and the next great white rapper thing. It was
Jamie Kennedy.
Riff Raff.
Riff Raff.
This is where Riff Raff came from.
The neon icon.
The Riff Raff came from this show. His name was actually MTV Riff Raff for a long, I think that was actually his name. Then he dropped the MTV Riff Raff. It came from the show. They had a couple challenges they did where people had to sit in a room and here's what you got to make a song about. Wavy Davy would right around shot Chet Hanks every single time.
Yeah, but if Chet Hanks and Wavy Davy collabed.
Oh my God.
Forget about Daft Punk. We're talking about the next duo of the future.
Okay, let's.
Chet Hanks might have CTE.
After his face just goes,
his face is just getting banged around by butt cheeks in that video.
Wow. Chet Hanks, I'm sure Tom Hanks has a lot of questions about what, when, how did this happen?
What did he do wrong?
That White Boy Summer, though, that song is going to go. I assume.
Rude boy.
There's some bangers in there. A little bit of an accent out of nowhere. Speaking of them, people partnering up and teaming up.
Yeah.
And making something great.
Hell yeah.
And that's why the transition game is the hardest one in this live show. Because what I just pieced together there, not everybody can do.
No,
it's true.
But whenever Chet Hanks and Wavy Davy come together, they're going to make something great, we assume. Even though I believe Wavy Davy far superior in the rap game, David Morris. But whenever you talk about people coming together to make something beautiful and make something awesome, it's really cool. And I just wish at some point the NFL and the NFLPA could do that.
Oh, man.
Yeah, because right now another team, the Lions came out this morning and said they're boycotting OTAs through a statement through the NFLPA. The New England Patriots have officially come out. They have their statement. I believe the NFLPA tweeted out a statement from the New England Patriots. This was reported earlier today. Then it was taken off the reports. People were actually deleting tweets. And then this comes after Brandon King, who's a special teams player for the New England Patriots, came out and said, if Bill tells me to go, I'm going, which is what we thought was potentially going to happen immediately upon learning that the NFLPA wrote a memo to all the players saying that we in the NFL are very much hunkered down in our positions and how we feel. Boycott OTAs, don't boycott OTAs. This is going to become something. The New England Patriots players are releasing a statement by the NFLPA in solidarity with other players across the NFL and in the interest of our health and safety. Many of us at the New England Patriots will be
Yeah, there you go.
We'll be exercising our right to not attend voluntary workouts this offseason. The NFL has yet to agree in full details of a plan for players, despite the fact we are a few short days away from the start of voluntary workouts. The threat of COVID-19 is still serious in our community. Well, hey, Buffalo Bills said just come fill a stadium, get a Facciacci. But still serious in our community and across the country. And we think it's safer for everyone if we choose to work out on our own. While we understand that some players will need to go for various reasons and some safety measures have been put in place, we also know that NFL players have a choice with our union, which our union bargained for. Shout out to the union. We saw the health and safety benefits that a fully virtual offseason had on our fellow players last year. As experienced professionals who love the game, we know how to prepare our minds and bodies for an NFL season and look forward to working hard in pursuit of a Super Bowl this upcoming season. So you said you were hunkered down in your position, but you weren't. You just backed off it a little bit, the NFLPA, which is what they released this statement, first sentence, in solidarity with the other players across the NFL and in the interest of our health and safety. Many of us at the New England Patriots will be exercising our right to not attend voluntary workouts this offseason. Okay, congrats to those guys that are doing that. It's not going to be able to happen.
Nope.
I understand why the players want the virtual offseason, especially the older guys who've been there, done that, and they might have bonuses associated with showing up to the building in person. They want to train elsewhere, and they got a chance to experience a new ramp up into an NFL season, and their bodies potentially reacted better. Their mental states was a lot better because they were away from the building. I understand all that stuff. But just the thought of having every player not show up to a building when it's possible for them to show up to a building to potentially earn a job, that's just not going to happen. You hope the NFLPA and the NFL can come to an agreement like, hey, the virtual OTAs worked. Is there any way we can do that? But I don't know how the boycott's going to work. I hope the players win in the end. I will always hope that. I think I am maybe the most pro-player person to ever speak into a microphone. But immediately upon hearing there was a boycott of voluntary workouts with potential business, actions against the people on the back end of it, I knew there was no chance this was going to work.
And we know it's not Cam Newton. Cam Newton said Bill Belichick's dope as shit. Cam Newton's already had COVID, and really the team goes.
You can get it again. That was in one of the other statements.
You can get it again, but Bill Belichick, he can control the weather. He can also control how many times you have COVID. There's no chance that a majority of players, at least for the Patriots, won't be there.
Well, many of us, they said.
Yeah, exactly.
So they didn't give a majority.
Not all of us.
I do like that the NFLPA put out that statement, though, because that is not a statement you would think the NFLPA would be putting out, especially now that they're trying to state that we should be doing a full player boycott.
And Tampa, even Tampa doing this whole entire thing. I feel like that was a surprise to me, at least, just because they're one of the top teams, and you'd think that they'd be, right back to work.
And the Bruce Arians quotes on this whole thing have been awesome, both before the OTA boycott and before this whole thing became a thing. It was about how since the beginning of time, older players in the NFL have been completely okay with no OTAs.
Yeah.
The lockout year, I've said this plenty of times, was awesome. The lockout year was the best year that we ever had. But it's those younger guys that are always going to feel as if they're potentially missing out or losing. So they're going to go to work. There's going to cause a divide. There's never going to be you just got to hope that maybe in future conversations, something's given up where it becomes a virtual offseason altogether, because the OGs like it, and they're the face of the league. They're the ones making all the money. So it's going to get ugly. It's already starting. AJ Hawk will join us on the other side of this 6-minute break, as will Will Zalatoris.
Yes!
Yeah, golf superstar.
Let's go.
Cannot wait to chat with him about his life, his trip to where he is now. Not just a meme, but an incredible golfer.
Yeah.
Will might be our new favorite golfer on the other side. We'll see how this conversation goes. This is the Pat McAfee Show, Wednesday, April 14th. They want to play for the Yankees one day, the people I'm playing against. They want to play for the fucking Yankees.
Check out, in there, we put a little surprise in there for you.
Let's get iced, it feels like. Let's start the day, I guess.
What the fuck you get?
It's great to be a member of the Washington Wild Things baseball team. We're number 1 in the league, right?
Yeah, let's fucking go.
Fuck everybody. Fuck everybody else. When I take BP, will there be anybody telling me how to fucking hit? No. It feels like the wind's blowing this way. Might have to attack that fence tonight, huh? Hey, you got it! Does the DJ play heaters like this all night? I started hitting 2 days ago. Oh, you'll be fine. I think I figured it out. You'll probably only face 90 miles an hour tonight. Is that me in the game there? This is a good at-bat. This is a good at-bat. Oh, shit! Oh, shit! Give me it!
1-1 pitch.
Let's go!
Line drive right
son of a
at
bitch!
the
That came down a lot faster than I thought, though. Let's be honest.
It's deep, and it is off the wall. Fielded out.
Excuse me! If you could all get off of my dick, we would be better off. Tell you what, would have been nice to take a nap earlier.
Another throw
Get back!
first.
You have to tell me when that's happening. You're making me look bad. Hey, Steven, fuck you. Hey, fuck you, Steven. Hey, nice pitch. 149. Does that feel good, Steven? Oh, wow. Wow.
He tosses him the ball.
Wow. Back to being a player now. Making plays. Touchdown. What inning is it?
Second.
Jesus. But it was finally my time to get in that box.
Number 1, the right fielder, the former punter from West Virginia, a former Indianapolis Colt, and a current Barstool Sports personality, Pat McAfee.
The anticipation is real.
Oh, fuck.
Hit out.
I'm in the hole? Son of a bitch, this is about to happen.
And that will bring up Pat McAfee once again.
First pitch from Reynaldo Lopez, swing and a miss by McAfee.
Hey! What was that? And the catcher goes, I had to give you one.
Looked off speed.
What was that? Then I look at the pitcher, and he's smiling. He's like laughing, like he's toying with me like I'm a child. It all comes down to this. My last at-bat. Hey, I'm gonna get on. You bring me home.
This is your life on the line, fucker.
Let me tell you something. You're going to take an L, okay? You're going to take one. So I think that the close your eyes and swing method is perfect. Oh, this is hardball.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Jesus. You have no prayer.
All right. Number 1, right fielder, Pat McAfee.
job, boy.
Oh, this is the thing.
Let's go!
It's a knockdown at 6 seconds. He might be dead. Come on. Come on. Say it loud, ref.
Ladies and gentlemen, with the match ending in the first round, your winner by technical knockout,
Thank you.
the red corner.
Woo! Fuck you, buddy. You too. We did it. We did it. Yeah. Listen, am I the greatest Oculus boxer of all time? Possibly. But getting punched in the actual face is much different than the fake shit. So I'll continue to go in here, battle against these jabrones, and keep it moving. I am tired though, even though it was quick.
The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about.
Speaking his mind.
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
While being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Hour 3. We got a new guest joining us here. This is going to be a big time show.
Yes.
We're showing our range. Shout out to Twine there. Golfer will be joining us.
Okay.
Yeah, golfer. We're going to talk golf.
Like
That's what we do around here.
Mm-hmm.
But first, I got to tell you, what's the best pair of shorts or pants that you own? If you don't say Bird Dogs, that's strictly because you haven't purchased Bird Dogs before. Bird Dogs were originally just a pair of shorts, not just a pair of shorts. They were a pair of shorts that had built-in underwear that were more comfortable than anything you would ever put on your thighs, ass, or baby-making region. Facts. And then we're not talking old school bathing suit built-in underwear where the netting would potentially put your entire kit and caboodle into a chokehold. No, we're talking about built-in underwear that's made of the softest fabric that goes all the way down to about mid-thigh. Underwear became obsolete whenever you get the Bird Dogs. And then they went ahead and they stole Lululemon's designer and said, we want to make pants. So they made pants, added in the Bird Dogs built-in underwear, and made the most comfortable pants on earth. And these pants can be worn to do anything. Golf, work, talk, shit, sleep, you name it. You can wear them everywhere. You can dress them up. You can dress them down. Bird dogs are the most comfortable pair of pants on earth. And when you go to birddogs.com right now and enter promo code PAT, they'll throw in a free pair of Bird Dogs rubber ventilated shoes.
Come on.
What?
Seriously?
These Bird Dogs rubber ventilated shoes look and act a lot like a company that rhymes with Brock's. Okay. But legally, they cannot say the name of said company, so you just have to know that they feel, look, and act exactly like a pair of Brock's. Now, the color is the Bird Dogs color, and you could potentially confuse them for maybe prison sandals, but that's not the case. They're actually just a beautiful color that make you look much, much cooler, and they got little birds flocking on top of that thing in beautiful fashion. The boys wear them around the office. They're wearing them at home. Foxy actually said, great to take the dog outside.
Yeah, love it.
These Brocks are very comfortable. Shout out to Bird Dogs for giving away a free pair of those with every order at birddogs.com, promo code PAT. Get them now. These will sell faster than the cheese boards, the hats, and now the Brocks. So every time we have one of these things, they give away something incredibly hilarious and cool and dope. They sell out immediately, so we appreciate everybody that listens and watches and believes us when we say your Bird Dog shorts and pants will immediately become the most comfortable pair of shorts and pants that you could own. Joining us now, ladies and gentlemen, college football national champion, Super Bowl champion, AJ Hawk. AJ, you and this man shared the same landscape in real estate on Sunday. He was with his caddy and millions of people watching at home. You were wandering all by yourself, lost in a crowd, lost from your crowd, meandering around like a Neanderthal. Ladies and gentlemen, joining us now, primetime golfer, legendary human, meme on the internet, and I believe he came in second at the Masters. Ladies and gentlemen, Will Zalatoris. Will, how are you, buddy?
Oh my God, I love it. Thanks, guys. I'm a massive fan.
Hey, Will, we're a big fan of yours too. You don't have to lie to us to begin this conversation, but I do appreciate you saying that. Will, I want to let you know that learning about you this weekend was fantastic. How I learned about you exactly was via a Nick Moraldo tweet, okay? So Nick Moraldo tweeted out, obviously, picture of you and Happy's caddy, okay? And he said, cool, it went viral. But what had happened was immediately upon it going viral is the golf community was like, oh, real original joke. So I guess this has been something that's been around for a long time. Your golf career, I think you just got introduced to a lot of people this weekend, whether it was meme or by your incredible play. How did we get here, and why did I not know who the hell you were, Will? You're electric out there.
Thanks, brother. Yeah, the Happy Gilmore caddy reference, I guess, has been going on since I was like 17. And I thought it was funny because I had long hair back then, and then I cut it really short for a few years. And then I was like, what the hell with it? Got COVID. I'm not going to get a haircut. I'll let it grow out. And then all of a sudden I win a tournament and finished well in the Open. And all of a sudden all of the references are coming back. And then, having Adam Sandler tweet at me, it was like, what the hell just happened the last 2 years?
It's legendary, dude.
Hey, what's it like now? So I was out there. I got to follow you on Sunday for a long time, which I don't know if you could feel it, but the crowd was like growing as obviously you came out of the gates hot with 2 birdies, and I'm sitting there in the crowd. I think I was on 3, and everyone's talking about you coming up to the tee, and they're all running. Like, could you feel like all of that momentum gain that you kind of took with you from the start?
Yeah, no, I mean, it was really cool just because it's like all these guys were, making Happy Gilmore references, Owen Wilson references, guys rooting me on in between shots. But it was like that all day. So it was just fun to feed off of it. I could tell I was the underdog, and a lot of people were rooting for me. And I wish I could have slowed the day down a little bit, but I also found out that I now have like 47 different variations of my last name too. So that was kind of fun to
Did I say it right?
Oh, no, you got it right. No, it was just funny hearing, like, hey, there's that Zalatoris kid or whatever. I was like, man, I've been a rookie for 10 events now. It's like, at least maybe get that one right.
Well, I just learned that you're a rookie, by the way. I knew your name, though. Hey, fucking knew your name. Okay, so get off my ass, golf community or whatever. Did you wonder how you would potentially perform at that set? Like, going into golf, Yeah, everybody knows it's a massive head game. Like, hey, this is in between the ears. A lot of people can hit. Millions and millions of people every single day try to hit golf balls, and then there's only people that make money off of this thing. Did you have that wonder of like, okay, Masters Sunday, crowd around me, in contention? Did you ever wonder to yourself, how will I perform in that situation, or is it just another day on the golf course for you?
Yeah, I mean, it was. I thought Saturday actually kind of set me up for Sunday because it's like I hadn't been in a final group on the PGA Tour yet, but I had contended in a couple of events. And Saturday was kind of the day where it was like, it meant a little bit more to me than it probably did for a couple other people just because I wanted to see how I handled it. And I was standing on the first tee and I looked at my caddy and I was like, I'm not trying to put down the Masters here, but it's like I thought I'd be more nervous.
Oh,
yeah, like I don't know if it was just like the preparation meets opportunity type thing, but I knew that I was like, man, we're going to be in for some fun this weekend. And then Sunday, being 4 back going in the last round, it was like weapons free, boys. I mean, we're firing at everything. Let's go after this. And birding 1 and 2, that was to me kind of like the. Okay, yeah, we need to. We're in this thing, and I think I was like 5 or 6 back going into Amen Corner, and I needed to birdie 13 at least to give myself a chance. And then I didn't realize Hideki had knocked in the water on 15, which then I heard the groans, but I didn't think that was him just because I was walking up 17, which is right next to it, and I was like, you know what, let's do our best here, just birdie finish. Anything can happen. You've been watching this tournament forever, and you see those guys with the leaderboards where they have like the 15-minute intervals of like 4:15, there's a 5-shot lead, 4:30, it's like 2 shots, and then 5 o'clock, there's like 4 guys tied for the lead, and you're like, what the hell just happened? And so it was like, let's just see what happens.
Hey, yeah.
Obviously, it only ended up being 1 shot.
Yeah, Sunday's at the Master. Let's just go birdie here to end this thing. Who knows? Easy. Who knows what happens? Sorry about that, AJ. What do you got?
Hey, what was it like Saturday night, trying to go to bed, trying to sleep? Like, were you renting a house close by? Who did you have in town with you? And what was that also waiting around to be in one of the last groups? That has to be kind of a weird feeling, I would imagine.
Yeah, so Saturday night, I was actually, because we had the rain delay, I was eating dinner at like 10:15.
Oh.
So, because I didn't get back till about 9:30. And so it was actually kind of a blessing at the same time because I didn't get to bed till like 12:31. But it made me kind of sleep in a little bit to like 10. And kind of the mistake that I made on Saturday was I was up at 7:30, and I'm like waiting around, I'm like, all right, I've already done, it's like, give me that newspaper, I'll do a crossword puzzle. I'm like, what am I doing? And so Saturday was kind of more of the nerve-wracking morning than Sunday, because Sunday I honestly, I've wanted to be in that position my entire life. And I was like, we've made it this far. You handled yesterday pretty damn well. So, whatever, you can go out and shoot 78 today and you're going to do what every other 24-year-old's going to do. So, we go out and, like I said, it's kind of what my caddy and I joked about was weapons free, boys.
Yeah, that's awesome. You're 24. I just learned that as well. Probably should have known that. See, there's a couple things I probably should have known going into this. The other thing I learned in your answer there was you eat dinner at 10:15. I thought dinner that late causes, you know what I mean? Like that's kind of what happens to me. I start eating later. I wake up the next morning. I'm 260. I'm 265. I'm 270. You might be one of the most fit humans I've ever seen in my entire life. Are you on a strict diet? How do you manage that? It is very impressive to see you kind of I don't say your body of work, but literally your body of work. You may be the most fit human I've ever seen in my entire life.
Well, I had, after a few beverages on Sunday, I needed something to,
couple beers.
Kind of soak it up the next morning with the family. So I had cookout and then I had pizza. So
this son of a bitch. You're eating pizza too, huh? Have you always been like that? Because have you always golf, other sports? How'd you kind of get into it?
Baseball, basketball, and golf. I loved pitching. I pitched until I got to high school, and the only thing I could hit was low and away, which, it's where a golf ball is. So I was like, what the hell is this? I love pitching, but I think that's honestly where I got all the speed from. Even though I'm pretty wiry and slim. I mean, I'm still top 20 in distance off the tee for the PGA Tour. So
wow. Hell yeah.
It's just like, I mean, trust me, I'm not like Bryson where he's like kind of babying it out there 330 and then all of a sudden you see him go Hulk smash and it's like 380. It's like my 330 is like every single pound of me is going after it.
I need you to start bringing out like the 3-wood on the tee box. Have people start to boo it, put it back in there, pull out the driver. That's what DeChambeau's doing now. Whenever you say weapons free, boys, do you have different strategies for courses? Because I go in stages with golf. I'll play a lot. I feel like I'll get good at golf. I'll start making smarter plays. I'll lay up here. I'll do this. I'll start playing the course for what it is. And then there's times where I'm golfing like once every 3 months. I'm going out there. I'm hitting the ball as far as I can every fucking time. And let's go ahead and have a good time here. Whenever you talk about weapons free, is it like you're using a different strategy to the course? And what course have you found is good for the way you play?
Yeah, I think like kind of it was more of like an attitude, because the thing about Augusta is it's like there's some hole, it kind of goes in waves. Like the second and third hole are pretty easy holes, you can make some birdies. Then 4 through 6 is pretty hard. And then 7, 8, 9, you make some birdies. Then 10, 11 are hard. Then 12 through 16, you've got birdies. And then 17, 18 is a tough finish. So it's a lot of like up and down. I think that's why guys love watching it. But I think, it was a little bit more of a mindset that last day, but there were a few pins that I probably wouldn't have really fired at on any other day. But I was 5 or 6 back, and it's like, hey, you got to take this chance. Like, if you're going to go ahead and hit this thing to 30 feet, like par's not going to help you here. Like, we need some birdies. But I think places like that, I think that's why I played well, like in the majors so far. It's just because the courses are so much harder, and ball striking has always been my forte. So, it's like the U.S. Open. I mean, it's like 7,700 yards, 6-inch rough, greens run at like 13. It's like, that's perfect for me. Like, I hit it farther than a lot of guys, and whenever I hit fairways, I typically hit it closer. So it's like, that's kind of...
Is this golf? Are we golfing?
More up my alley.
Yeah. Is this golf or not, man? We're hitting it further and closer. Is that? What a line.
Pat, I got to say, you do have a good move at it. So just keep on shipping that thing.
Oh, you've seen the move? Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
You've seen the play?
Oh, yeah. I've seen it.
I tried to putt like Bryson with the arm. I can't fucking putt, Will. I don't know how you guys do it. I have no idea how you do it. If I could figure out the flat stick, I think I could enjoy golf a lot more. You know what I mean?
Darren Williams is a buddy of mine, and he played, I think, in that charity event that you did, or the 2 teams or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like, I told him, I'm not trying to fangirl you here, but I was like, yeah, I've listened to Pat all the time, and he's like, yeah, he's a cool guy, but he doesn't wear shoes.
Yeah. By the way, that has changed. I'm trying to respect the game a little bit more.
That's
because
right.
I've learned, allegedly, now I have not, out of my own personal research, seen much advancement in my play. Allegedly, the grip matters on the ground. So I was going to like try to be good at golf again, because I was at one point, and they told me, well, if you're bare feet, you're starting yourself way behind if you do that. I put shoes on, I fucking stunk. Lost 11 balls in 8 holes, Will. 11 balls, 8 holes, can't do it. What do you got, Connor?
Yeah, Willie, I read that you forewent your senior year at Wake Forest. Did you know, like, while you were in college, like, holy shit, I'm going to, probably finish second in the Masters in 2021 and become a millionaire? Or is this, like, whole thing kind of like, oh, holy shit, look what I'm doing?
Yeah, it's more of the holy shit, look what I'm doing. Because my first year as a pro, I did a bunch of Monday qualifiers and missed all of them, then missed Q school. And then basically I Monday qualified my way in 2019 to the Korn Ferry Tour. And then last year, I just missed my card literally by a shot in 2019. I missed two out of the last 3 cuts, but then had a really good finish in Evansville. And I missed the Korn Ferry, or missed our promotion, I guess, off of basically one shot. If I make one of those weekends, I end up, just have a decent weekend. I would have got my card. So I'm kind of stewing for like 3 months. The fact that all it took was just one shot, and then 2020 hits with COVID, and now I've got a 4-month layoff. And so it's like, dude, I've played 3 events in the last 7 months, and it literally came down to one shot. And that's the difference. And I think that kind of just fired me up. But I left early because I had a bunch of starts. I honestly didn't do anything with them, but it was still a really good experience and, stuff that I rely on to this day.
Hey, how stupid is it that you technically don't have your PGA Tour card right now? And
What?
should they change the rules?
What does that even mean? I watched the big break. You hit it through some boss, you get a cue card, you can do the whole thing.
Yeah, it's a weird spot to be in, but it's not like they're going to change the rule like mid-season. Like, it is what it is. Like, I have to win to technically be a member right now and to get into the FedEx Cup playoffs. So
let's go.
Yeah, but put it this way, it's like, I'm in the top 30 in the world, but how many times has a guy come from the Korn Ferry Tour and been top 30 in the world? Like, the reality is a lot of those guys, like Colin Morikawa, Victor Hovland, all those guys, they've won in their first year. And so this situation has never come up. So that's why it's just kind of like, every week it kind of frees me up where it's like, I'm locked up for next year. I'm in all the majors until, through, I guess, the Masters of next year. Like, finishing second the next 20 weeks in a row means the same thing as finishing 20th. Make a hell of a lot more money, but, it's like, I need that win.
I'm thinking of you, and I mean, aside from the very low-hanging fruit here of the internet, Happy Gilmore hopping in the car, driving to these tournaments, putting the big checks in the back, and then just driving to the next one. The guy not even supposed to be here, just collecting his checks, please, and then try to take him to a big bank where I can get, the big amount. So what do we got, Diggs?
Well, so I'm looking at you finished 15th, 22nd, 10th, 21st, and 2nd. So pretty solid. So your name on the tour now. Is there a older player or older players who have taken you in and given you some advice? And do older players or any players, if they miss the cut on Friday at Augusta, stick around for the weekend besides DJ because he has to hand out the jacket?
I know a lot of past champions hit balls on the weekend. Mike Weir and Bernard Langer were hitting balls on the weekend.
Langer! My guy Langer!
Hey, Jason.
I played with him Thursday, Friday, and I mean, I was messing with him a little bit because I just absolutely laced one on 8 and just straight downwind. There was like 325 to cover the right bunker, and I carried it. Woo. And I was feeling pretty good about myself. And Langer hits 3-wood to lay up short of the bunker, so I'm spotting him like 120 yards. And I hit 5-iron up there, and I put it in a bad spot, have a tough up and down, end up making par. Langer goes 3-wood, 8-iron to a foot and makes birdie. And I walk up on the tee. I'm like, I just spotted you 120 effing yards, and you still got me.
Yeah,
the guy's 60-plus years old, and the guy can still play.
Hey, Gary Player. Gary Player. I mean, he absolutely smoked that thing. Do you guys? Do you all go to that? Was everybody that plays in a tournament sitting there at that thing?
Well, so my tee time was too close to go watch because it would have screwed up my warm-up. But I saw them warming up on the range, and they're going through a full-blown warm-up. I mean, these guys are in their 80s, and they're talking about what they're working on. And the story goes that this week that Gary said that he shot 78 a couple weeks ago, and he said he was really frustrated because he's like, man, I think I might have I played my last Masters too soon. I still think there's something in there. And I'm like, that's incredible.
Hey, that's golf, though. Golf, you can be a 55, 60-year-old champion. That is, with your style of golf, you said you're a long ball hitter and everything like that. Do you, are you already planning for a potential 30-year career? Because that is something, you're 24, you're young as hell. Is that something that even crosses your mind, or is it just let's get a card to be on the tour first before we even think about that? But that is the real thing about golf. I have thought to myself, I could probably do 2 more careers, retire from them, and still potentially have enough time to get on that senior tour and win. Golf, you can be 60 years old and still win a goddamn tournament on the weekends.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look at Romo. I mean, Romo's 40, and he's still – I mean, I play a lot of golf with him at home, but, I mean, that guy treats it like an all-out job. And, he has no reason to either. I mean, it's like the guy's obviously has a nice little contract and had a nice little career. And
17.
He's had a pretty rough back, and look at him go. I mean, he's out there 10 hours a day.
Ty, what do you have?
Will, in terms of the money, when you're out there, is it tough not to consciously think about that stuff? I mean, I know Schauffele on Sunday lost $660,000 by dumping it into the water. Like, are you thinking that when you're out there, like, oh shit, I just lost like $500K?
Well, the Corn Ferry Tour, I think.
No, yeah, I mean, that's actually a good point with the Corn Ferry Tour. It's like a year ago, I was thinking, if I made like a $40,000 check on the Corn Ferry Tour, I'm like, sweet, I got 2 years of rent out of this. This is great. And things have changed a little bit, but
I'd say
no. I mean, I don't play. That's the thing that's kind of funny is like, it's not our money yet. It's like it's not like
it's points.
It's not like this past week. It's like I had whatever I made last week, and all of a sudden, if I made a couple bogeys, you're taking away that like in Xander's case, $600,000. Like if you're out there playing for the money, it makes it a lot harder, especially playing the last few holes. But it's like, I love Kiz's line because it's so brutally honest, but it's so funny. Where Kiz was saying that, like, look, man, there's just some courses that I just can't contend on. And they asked, well, then why do you show up? He said, because they pay a lot of money for 20th.
Hey, by the way, Kiz
that's
has
just
a good
such
time.
a brutally
Yes, he
honest
does.
good line.
Hey, we saw Kiz have a very good time one night. He's hilarious individual, obviously.
I love that guy.
Hey, he is. I mean, I think I would too from watching from he put on a show.
He did.
He put on
Him and his boys.
Oh my God, they were awesome. Anybody been a douche to you?
No, but I think it's been funny that I've gotten like 75 Venmo requests for like, hey, thanks for blowing the Masters or something like that. It's like $100 request. I'm like, all right.
I was talking about PGA guys, but the internet's going to do that. The internet's going to do that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like you're always going to get the trolls, but the Venmo request for like $100, like, wait, one shot, really, stuff like that. I'm like, man, this is actually really funny.
Yeah, it is. But how about PGA guy? Any older golfers that you've met that you were like, not as nice as I potentially thought? Or is there anybody that you met that was like incredibly cool that you couldn't have expected?
I played 2 rounds with Bubba at WGC, and I played a practice round with him in the match play, and he is so funny and such a good guy. He and Teddy are just total goofballs. I mean, they're out there and they're like, hey, let's kind of cut this one, let's see how much we can cut this 3-iron right here. And it's like, all right, Teddy, up and down for a hot dog. And it's just like they're totally screwing around. But the part that's so fun is like I've met so many guys that are over 40 out here that have given me advice and have been so nice when they didn't have to. And I think that's just part of the kind of fraternity of the tour. I haven't, thankfully no douches, lots of really, really cool guys, especially the older ones that have just been, telling me funny stories, and especially from, like back in the day.
So did you notice on Sunday, you're probably busy, obviously, and we saw you get busy out there attacking pins, and we appreciate it from an entertainment standpoint. But on the grounds, there was a caveman-looking human just roaming around aimlessly. He lost the group he was with because he tried to go get some sunscreen, and for 6 hours he wasn't able to use his phone because you're not allowed to have your phone in there. So he was lost just walking around. Did you sense that on the course at all, that there was a potential ape on the loose? Was there any thought like that?
No, I was a little busy. I was trying to make sure that my pants didn't fall down or had my zipper up and all that.
Smart. This guy over here, I don't know if you had heard, Will, you've been a little bit busy. He went to the Masters on Sunday. He said he followed you around or whatever. He was following around people all day because his group just left him. And I didn't know the Masters was a trip back in time so much. Like he said, no phones, no nothing.
Yeah.
Is it much different feeling there than everywhere else? It's obvious like it's the Super Bowl of golf?
Yeah, because when you go to tournaments and you hear the guys, screaming mashed potatoes or get it all, off of like a 550-yard par 5, like, yeah, they're overserved. Guys have their phones and they're trying to make memories or whatever. And like, I think it's hilarious. I mean, it is what it is. But out there, you hear way more clapping than you do at every other tournament because people don't have their phones. So just the sounds of hearing more clapping immediately makes everything feel back in time. And the no phone policy, I mean, there were a couple guys that try to bring their phones in and they had them confiscated, and it's just it's just old school. But when you're there as a player and not having your phone and just being able to appreciate everything, there's just nothing like it.
Hey, so where do you go from here, though? You're obviously in contention, almost win the Masters. Does a regular tournament, are you worried it's gonna be boring for you? Like, it's not gonna feel like the big stage?
Is this the Masters or?
No, I mean, it's like being a little tired after last week. But hey, I'm playing with DJ and Billy Horschel this week, Thursday, Friday.
Hey, Billy made a name for himself this weekend. Two shoeless golf moments for old Billy Horschel back to back down there.
Yeah, so I mean that'll. It's like, get to go play the number one player in the world the week after the Masters. And it's like, yeah, you think it'd be a little mentally fried, but hell, still giving out the same check they were all the other weeks. And I'm still trying to get my PGA Tour card and make that FedEx Cup playoffs. So let's go earn it.
All right. Well, good luck. We appreciate you joining us. It was a lot of fun to watch you. I understand middle of the season, very busy time. Good luck this weekend, rest of the season. We appreciate the hell out of you, Will.
Oh, thanks, brother. Thanks for having me.
Hey, no problem, ladies and gentlemen. Will Zalatoris. Zalatoris. Big fan of him.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know he got kind of booted off a tour. That whole thing didn't make it. Here we go. It's like a comeback story and a legendary story all at the same time.
He's been top 25 every event he's played in this year, and he can't get his fucking tour card.
I didn't know that, AJ. By the way, great question. Did you learn that at the Masters by listening in to a group of friends that was there together?
I did get a lot of random facts about Will that other people around me were throwing out. I think maybe 1% was probably true of the stuff people were coming up with. But
God, Masters is the game of telephone.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He was tied for 6th at the U.S. Open though. Like this dude he almost won the U.S. Open too.
He's a player. I like that he said, those U.S. Open courses the USGA puts together that everybody hates and complains about. Those are really my bag. Yeah. I hit it further than everybody, and they seem to get closer than everybody.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, that's golf.
Yeah. Now we know the tough courses. Go ahead and hammer.
Okay.
Bill Zalatoris.
So we got Morikawa, Zalatoris, Matsuyama, Dustin Johnson, who's still going. Go ahead. Who you were going to say something?
No, I was going to go ahead.
Young golfers, though, it feels like there's a nice young gen. And let's not get crazy. Let's remember, Charlie Woods is coming.
Exactly.
And Low John Daly's on his way as well. What's that, Diggs?
For the next major, you could have got him at 66-1. He's down to 40-1 now because of his success.
Let alone this conversation, too, probably dropping.
10-1.
AJ, I wish he would have seen. I thought I saw AJ, actually. Yeah. What if he would have said that? What if he would have said, oh, yeah, I saw that.
Thought it was were you that weirdo all alone under the tree?
AJ, there's a lot of pictures of people taking pictures with each other down at the Masters, and you were not in any of them or see any of those people down there.
Where people weren't taking pictures on the course with their phone.
Patrick Mahomes, Ryan Fitzmagic photo.
I think the Masters people took that photo.
Yeah, but I'm saying you didn't even find them and say hello. There was no people you even saw or knew or the whole day.
Exactly right. I didn't see anybody I knew the whole day, or the photographer.
So he doesn't know Patrick Mahomes.
Sure.
Yeah, that's weird.
Because earlier we said, did you see anybody?
I don't think Pat was there on Sunday. That was earlier in the week, I think.
Well, they also probably don't want to get a picture with a guy who's got a fucking 40-cup beer snake, from all the beers he's.
Some guy that looks sad with a bunch of souvenir cups.
Hey, take the mask down. Put the mask back.
Never mind.
All right, let's get to a break. On the other side, we got some things to talk about. Justin Fields' second pro day. It's not on TV. Do you have any insiders there?
I do not have insiders there. Bobby might be there.
Can we send a text maybe, see how that thing's going? Because it's not on TV anywhere. Let's hear how Justin Fields' pro day is potentially going. Talk about that and other things happening in the world today. Plus your phone calls, 1-888-MAD-DOG-6. This is the Pat McAfee Show, Wednesday, April 14th. Hey, AJ.
You're not up to something.
No, I am. What are you talking about?
Oh, you are.
Why are you slandering stuff like it? You write that down, it'd be libel. I am.
I figured it out. You're gonna be a guest host of Jeopardy.
Okay, we got to get to a break. Not a bad guess. This is Pat McAfee. something? You have got to experience so many things, both as a businessman off the field and on the field. Is there a moment when I ask this question and pops your mind, like, what's the craziest shit you've ever seen in your entire life? Because there was a time there where it felt like you were just getting dropped into insane situations and the world was like watching you do things. Man vs. Wild, you and that Bear Grylls guy, fucking electric. That was maybe the most electric shit I've ever seen. Is there anything that you think of whenever you think, like, what's the most ridiculous thing you've been a part of?
Probably some of the most ridiculous shit I ever been a part of was, I had got the restaurant which I'm in right now, and when we first got it, I would come in here and I would clean up and go outside in the front, sweep up, make sure everything looked nice and shit. And one morning I got up here and I noticed, like, damn, this is a funky ass smell. And I looked, to the side of my front door, and it's a big ass pile of shit. And I'm talking about human shit. Yeah, and it's right on the side of the door. So I was like, somebody done came and popped the shit right in front of the door. Like, oh, this shit is crazy. Like, I can't be in here serving food. Motherfucker come walk in and they smell straight ass cheeks when they come in there. Like, I don't think that's the restaurant I need to eat in. So, man, I get the water hose and I'm hosing it down. And, I see, we got a couple, Dolphins that usually walk back up in front. Hey, man, did you do this? Like, oh, no. So, one of them owned up to it. I said, man, check it out. So you don't do this no more. Look, you come by here, we get you we get you a broom and, you help us, we help you. You feel me? And, we put together a little, I put a proposition together for him, and I ain't cleaning up shit no more.
It's a win-win. It's a win for everybody on that one. Hey, one of your former teammates. Yeah, hey, everybody wins. You're helping the people, man. That's awesome. That's why people love you. But hey,
one of them owned up to it. Just a line of questioning. The line of questioning.
His name was Willie. Willie owned up to. Matter of fact, he just left out. He saying sweeping up. He like, hey, what's up? Oh boy, I've been looking for you. You feel? Okay. We bust down together up in the front of the restaurant to get it all cleaned up and everything.
Hey, you're helping people. Hey, Willie went from shitting outside to working inside. Let's go.
Yeah. Hey.
Let's go, Willie. Let's go.
Give it up for my boy Willie, man.
Every day is game day for these guys. It's showtime on the Pat McAfee Show.
Welcome back to that show. When it comes to car and home insurance, don't we deserve better?
Yeah. We do.
Yeah, I know we do. I put my policy to the test, by the way, and turned to Gabby. They literally stand for Get a Better Insurance.
Okay. Oh, I like that.
G-A-B-I.
Nice.
Gabby Insurance. Get a Better Insurance. Getting better insurance with Gabby means a better price for the same insurance coverage. Who knew something like this even existed before we started talking about it? Nobody.
Not me.
And when you found out it existed after we talked about it, you said, holy hell, that's a good idea. Let me hammer this home yet again, though, because if you haven't done this yet, you're a stooge. They're a one true comparison platform with real rates. They give you an apples-to-apples comparison of your current coverage with 40 of the top insurance providers like Progressive, Nationwide, Travelers, all in one place. Use your current insurance information to get started, and in just minutes, you'll be able to see quotes for the exact same coverage you currently have elsewhere, and it's free to use. That's what I did. That's what we did. And it was super fast and easy to use. I can't believe how much I was overpaying before switching over. Gabby customers save $961 per year on average.
Whoa.
Wow. And they'll never sell your info, so no annoying spam or robocalls. Put your policy to the test like we did. Get a better insurance with Gabby. It's totally free to check and there's no obligation. Go to gabi.com/PATM. That's gabi.com/PatM. Shout out to Gabby. Welcome back to the show. AJ, have you ever heard of such a thing?
No, but I would imagine that you get a big discount if you drive up 2 feet.
Doubt it.
No
All right.
chance.
You know, with 2 feet, you got to worry about both feet working together. When you have one foot, it's just one vision, one direction, one idea, one thing. But when you're talking about 2 feet, you got to get two separate entities to come together, much like what we've been talking about with the NFLPA and the NFL. Wow. I believe there is a new update on what the offseason looks like. The NFL has changed the offseason schedule. It's going to be tough to read, but here's the National Football League. They sent out a memo. Summary of the new offseason program. It is 9 weeks in length, voluntary except for one mandatory minicamp, same as normal. First phase, which is 4 weeks, virtual meetings. 2 hours per day at club's direction, no on-field drills or work with coaches. Facility and weight room capacity limits remain in place. Clubs will make every effort to have the vaccine available for players, staff, and families during the first phase of this program. Second phase, which is 1 week long, virtual meetings and on-field drills with coaches per CBA rules, no contact, and at a teaching pace. Third phase, which is another 4 weeks, traditional OTAs, okay? Full speed, no contact. In-person or virtual meetings, I assume the teams will decide, includes the mandatory minicamp in part of this, payment per CBA and individual player contracts for workout bonuses, players' eligibility for bonus payment determined by terms of player contract, COVID protocols as negotiated with the NFLPA will be following enhancement, daily testing with MESA tests, staff vaccination protocols, other regular season protocols in place, no change in rookie football development program or post-draft rookie minicamp. So the first 4 weeks are virtual. Is this the NFL coming and saying, hey, listen, okay, we understand what you're saying. In 4 weeks from now, by the way, the world might look a little bit different than it does today. We're talking stadiums. Texas has already had that. Who knows what the fallout's going to be? I think this is potentially a step in the right direction here for the NFLPA and the NFL to come together, but I don't know what was the original rules and what's updated right now.
Well, this doesn't seem like a compromise that they're saying the first 4 weeks are fully virtual. So hey, we're going to reevaluate after this. They just don't want to rule out not having the players come back at all, I would guess.
Yeah, and listen, okay, we'll delay this another month then. All right, we'll delay it another month. That's we'll delay this another month. But well, you know, if we have this thing figured out in our eyes, we're going to go back and listen. Those bonus checks are not going to come if you don't show up. I mean, this is going to become something. There's players' associations coming out and saying that some of us, or there will be a few of us that will be. It's becoming a whole scene. Happy that that's getting figured out because OTAs and everything in the grand scheme of football, all bullshit. I mean, important, all bullshit. This doesn't matter. There's no reason for a war to begin between the NFLPA and the NFL for this.
No, there's not. But this is a step for the PA, I feel like, trying to show that they have a little bit more power. They're showing that, hey, we can come together and stand for something.
Let's go to Chase in Denver. Chase, what's going on, pal? Hey.
Not much, Pat. Shout out to you and the boys.
Hey, shout out to you, Chase. If you don't stand for something, fall for anything.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What do you have, Chase? What do you have, Chase? What do you want to talk about? Yeah, Chase knows.
He knows.
Chase knows. What do you want to talk about?
I was just wondering if you'd heard anything from Peyton Manning about possibly buying the Broncos and getting us out of this Bolin family drama that we've been in for about 3 or 4 years now.
Bolin family drama? I didn't know there was drama over there with the Bolin family. I thought the Spanos family was the only family that had reality show type shit going on behind the scenes. What's going on with the Bolin family?
So the kids are suing the trustees of the foundation, saying that Bolin was mentally incapacitated when he signed over the trust, and they've been pushing back that court date. It's now for July this year.
Oh, jeez.
Are they fighting with his wife, with the widow?
I'm not sure, but anytime there's billions involved, and I should have kept him on the phone for follow-up questions, but I immediately wanted to get to that. That thing seems to happen with a lot of older, very rich people, huh?
Yeah.
Like their mental.
Anna Nicole Smith, didn't she get that billionaire guy to sign off on something?
Whoa. He wanted to.
Yeah.
Is now she would report
that guy was like 98 years old.
Yeah. So at what point do you?
Good for him, though. Hey, good for him. He can do whatever he wants. He made all that money. He's about to die. Do whatever he wants.
By the way, whatever mental state he was in, it was a state that he was in, and at the end of it, he hated his kids.
Yeah.
Okay. So I mean, that is, if you sign the money over from your family to somebody else, you can assume that they hate those people, right?
Oh, yeah.
They know exactly what they're doing, or maybe they're saying, "Hey, I'm trying to set you up for success, not just giving you everything you're gonna have to work for." Blah. But whatever the bullshit PR around why it didn't happen is cool with me, but. That is a interesting thing, especially with billions of dollars and now a team in there. I mean, courts are going to have to figure that out. How's that going to go? Nobody knows. I mean, it's all those drama things at the top of the world with that upper echelon of humans is so ridiculous to me.
Hey, I got a little report from a little birdie that was at Justin Fields' pro day. It's already over. I said, how did he do? He said, as good as last time for sure. And they said there was a lot of I don't know if there's a lot of head coaches, but mostly head coaches, GMs, and offensive coordinators there.
And how did he seem happy? Did he seem like he enjoyed it?
Yep. I didn't get a report on that, but I would assume he feels pretty happy.
Okay, good for Justin Fields.
Go.
Sources are telling AJ Hawk, which is telling us that Justin Fields' pro day did go well. This is good news. Does this mean he moves up in the draft status amongst the teams? Does this mean he's already been moved up amongst the teams, just not the media yet? How's this whole thing going to pan out? What will Justin Fields be 5 years from now? We will have to revisit it. I love everything that Justin Fields has had to go through in this offseason, because I think, although it's mightily bullshit and everything like that, he's going to even go. I think it's going to make him go even harder, hopefully, type of thing. We have a poll currently with who will be the number 3 overall pick in the NFL draft on April 29th, in which we will have a draft spectacular. Justin Fields is above Mac Jones by a pretty substantial amount. Trey Lance has 12%, Mac Jones 29%, Justin Fields 58%. Reports are saying he did great in his pro day. What if Justin Fields has been the Niners guy all along?
Okay, so some gambling insight into this. I said this morning I'd be excited to see what happens after this pro day. This morning, Mac Jones was minus 270 and Justin Fields was plus 200 to go at number 3.
Double your money.
Now Mac Jones is minus 190 and Justin Fields is down to plus 160.
Okay. So maybe there was a birdie that was alongside your birdie in that building today in Columbus, Ohio, that said, hey, seemed like some teams were very, very, very interested. And it's like, well, the Vegas is like, we're not going to lose money. No fucking way. Let's go ahead and change that whole thing around. Good for Justin Fields getting a chance to ball out. I wish they would put it on TV strictly for our own selfish reasons, but, you know, this whole thing until April 29th is going to continue to build, I think.
Hey, good news. I just got a couple videos and pictures from Pro Day 2. I don't think I can send them to you or show them. I haven't opened them up really to look at it, but got a few great angles from the sideline. Looks like our source was up pretty close.
Okay, so our source is potentially a general, right? If I have the right source?
Potentially.
Wow.
Okay. Wow. It's not the Masters, by the way. He has his phone out. He is recording.
Yeah, whether they want him to or not. He is
That goes over, AJ. Are you kidding me?
Our sources are sending videos that we are trying to verify on whether or not they are allowed to be seen by the public at this exact time. I'm happy. I hope it happens. Like, I hope it works out exactly how it was supposed to be for like 3 years. Yeah. And then all of a sudden everything changed just for the sake of Justin.
Even if it doesn't, like if he goes to Atlanta, that's pretty cool too, right?
Back home.
Yeah, Georgia, that whole thing.
Hey, there's some quotes coming out about Trevor Lawrence and what Trevor Lawrence has said and what his dad has said and his high school football coach has said and everything like that, about how it's in a Sports Illustrated article about how he doesn't really have a chip on his shoulder. He just loves the game or whatever. And it's hard to, there it is. Subscribe.
Hell yeah.
Subscribe to the show, please. He's been the number 1 recruit for since he's 8th grade. So I assume it's hard for him to have anybody say anything bad about him for a long time. So the chip on the shoulder comes from people doubting you. So you put a chip on your shoulder to say, fuck you. That's kind of how the narrative goes. He's always been the guy.
Yeah.
So him saying, I don't have a chip on my shoulder. It's about passion of the game for me. And then his dad said that Trevor Lawrence is not I want to win a Super Bowl at all costs type guy. And Trevor Lawrence's high school coach said he could walk away from it tomorrow and be completely fine, which, by the way, I understand. There's been a lot of players that have been like that have had a lot of success. But Warren Sharp put out a tweet, and it made me think from a non-just sports stooge mindset. Could you imagine if this shit came out about Justin Fields?
Oh, man.
Could you imagine? It would be... Now, Trevor Lawrence is going to be a great quarterback, and I don't have anything wrong with what is being said there. If he commits to the team and wins games and does everything, cool, dude, everybody goes about things differently. We talked to Channing Crowder earlier about that. But the thought of the thought of Justin Fields having that information leaked would be like people trying to sabotage him, almost, as opposed to an article, trying to get to know him. That's just, it's a very different world.
Well, don't you think a lot of, but GMs and different people and coaches around the league are going to hate those quotes? The fact that they said he could walk away from it tomorrow and be fine. Like the old school mentality coach is like, are you kidding me? We can't take this guy.
Football coaches are not going to enjoy that. That is, Mike Vrabel gone on Bussin' with the Boys and said, cut off my penis if it's going to win.
Yep. Yeah. Another Super Bowl.
We win another Super Bowl. Okay, coaches are going to feel that way.
He's already won one, too.
This guy has rings. Has rings already. He said, cut it off. I've already made babies. Cut it off, dude.
Who cares?
Don't need it. I'll pee somewhere else. Like that is what football guys do, though. Like that is the thing. So I guess like at a different level, the scouting department has to have a different view or whatever, and that whole thing. But you're right. There's going to be a lot of people that are like happy we don't got number one this year. Happy we don't got number one overall this year. But if he goes out and balls, who gives a fuck?
Doesn't matter. Didn't you talk about it? Like it doesn't matter what your motivation is or what you like. I think what they're trying to say is, hey, like he's not like football doesn't define him. It's the old quote, like I'm a football player. Like it's not who I am. It's what I do. I'm sure you've heard that before.
Wow.
AJ, holy shit.
Hey, you pulled that out too. That is, I have heard that quote before. Deep pull there by you. Impressive stuff. Maybe that no concussion thing is real. I'm being told by the back room that we do have video of Justin Fields' pro day. I don't know if this is from our source. This is from Ohio State football releasing some information. Here's Justin Fields. A little bit out, roll out left, crossbody, dime to the sideline. More of the same from Justin Fields delivering the rock. A lot of conversation about his throwing move, saying it's he just threw a
They love
it. They just threw a 65-yard ball
throw
across his body rolling to the left. Sorry for just stopping there. A lot of people talking about how his baseball mechanisms are okay. Yeah. Dude, just fucking the guy can sling the ball.
Yeah. Biggest flaw, his arm mechanics.
Yeah. Okay.
What the hell does that mean?
Justin Fields has been through it here, man. I bet he's excited for April 29th as much as everybody else.
And even if he doesn't go number 3, like he's going to go somewhere where they really want him, and they're very excited that he's still there and he's available.
Yeah. And by the way, what if he goes 2?
Yeah. Yes. I mean, everything is on the table. Like there's no guarantees heading into this draft. I mean, the biggest guarantee is Trevor Lawrence going number 1. But who knows what happens between now and the draft?
Justin Fields might be a Jet, and they've been playing it so tight to the vest that they just have not said a single thing. That could legitimately happen on draft night, which, by the way, has been predicted to be happening for the last couple years. It's going to go Trevor, Justin, whoever it is. People actually said, congrats to the Jets. You get Justin Fields now whenever they won a game and got out of the number 1 draft pick. I mean, it's just very, very interesting, this whole thing.
Especially when Rapshi was saying Joe Douglas, he was like, well, everyone knows our moves, and like gave one of these. It's like, oh, so maybe he's just been stirring the pot, fucking with everybody this entire time. Especially because they're there. They're at the pro day. If they were locked in on Zach Wilson, they wouldn't be there.
Well, they might also be looking at a wide receiver. Everybody thinks that this is just a quarterback's pro day, which I would assume that's bringing a lot of the glitz and glamour, but there's other people doing stuff over there.
The number 2 overall odds have not moved. Zach Wilson still minus 3,000.
Okay.
What's Fields there? What's Fields there?
Plus 1,200.
Yeah. I mean,
that's not bad money right there.
No. Hey, don't count Trey Lance out of this either. Like Trey Lance is in. There's somebody that's like, hey, what if this is Patrick Mahomes number 2?
Well, and allegedly Shanahan. This is being reported by David Lombardi himself. Shanahan has been in conversation with Justin Fields and Trey Lance's private quarterback coach named John Beck. And he says, let's not overreact, but Shanahan has been frequently calling John Beck, Justin Fields' private quarterback coach, who is also now working with Trey Lance. Now, is Shanahan just doing his due diligence? Is this completely bullshit? Possibly. All these things are possible, but Ian Rappaport said Trey Lance potentially at 3 as well is something that could happen. What's that, Nick?
If John Beck's coaching these guys, they're both going to be busts, so you could just scratch them off the list right now. Don't worry about it.
Hey, doesn't John Beck work with Zach Wilson too? I feel like at watching Zach's pro day, John Beck was the one running. He was in like the Jordan Palmer role.
I couldn't even tell you what the fuck a John Beck is.
Nope.
I do not know, but hey, shout out to him though, private quarterback coach.
Nice work, John.
He probably does, AJ, because he also played at BYU.
Yeah. He's not a coach there, but he's a quarterback guy. So I don't know. Maybe he just works with maybe Maybe Jordan Palmer needs to tell him to back off. He's taking some of his guys.
Oh, what happened to that one guy that was on College Game Day with the tennis rackets when Johnny Manziel was winning?
What's his name?
He was the quarterback over
Yeah,
there.
ESPN hired him, right?
George Whitfield?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, he was like the guy.
Yeah,
right?
I think you worked with Cam, too.
And then now,
who's he with?
Now Jordan Palmer.
Yeah.
Quarterback.
The heir apparent.
QB Summit.
Let's stop back fucking playing around.
Swooping in.
That's a competitive world, man. Doesn't Dilfer get in on that game too?
I think he got out of it though. He did it that one time, and he said, "Listen, I'm not, because there's sharks in that water there."
Yeah.
Jordan Palmer's got the 2 number 1s last 2 years. Yeah, that's pretty good, I guess. That's probably, in his world, that's probably what, Super Bowl, right?
Yeah, that's a win.
That's absolutely. He was a great conversation. What was that, a week ago?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I think so. Let's go to Justin in Oklahoma. What's going on, Justin? Hey, Boomer.
Sooner.
Yeah,
that's
there
what
we
I'm
go.
talking about. Right?
Hey, what up, Patty Mac and the boys?
Hey, what's going on out there, Justin?
Justin. You know, broken, uneducated, just trying to make a living.
Sounds like it. Turn it down a little bit. Turn the radio down a little bit. We appreciate you so much for joining us, Justin. What do you want to talk about here as we hit a hard out?
Sorry about that, brother.
Hey, you're all right.
Hey, look, real quick, before I get to my point, man, let me just say that I think 2-foot drivers in the NFL have a lot in common. They are the 1% of the 1%ers of America.
Yeah, you're 100% right.
Wow.
You're 100% right, Justin. What else do you have, pal? Real quick, we only got like 30 seconds.
Just that.
Okay, real quick, I need you to make a call to your guys at FanDuel and get us a Pat McAfee Super Boost that has your boy Trevor Lawrence as a lock as the number 1 draft, so we can all.
All right, okay, all right. Let's get out of here. AJ, we got 30 seconds before the Sirius XM. Justin, we appreciate you, Boomer, pal. 20 seconds until the show ends, and then Chris Mad Dog Russo will join the air. What do you have anything to say to the people listening on Sirius, AJ?
Or if you're listening on Sirius, head on over to YouTube / whatever it is for you to listen to Jordy with us here in a couple minutes.
You know what it is. YouTube.com / The Pat McAfee Show. Jordy Nelson will be joining us in 5 minutes. Chris Mad Dog Russo will be in your ears in 6 minutes. This has been the Pat McAfee Show. We'll see you tomorrow. Yeah, I had to get that in there.
AJ, why you gotta act like you don't know what the goddamn URL is?
Yeah, way to go, dude. You're so.
There's just too much. They should make it easier. Like just
pretty damn
say,
easy.
hey, search Pat McAfee Show on YouTube. That's all you need to say.
That's all you needed to say.
By the way, but you don't need to search it. Just go youtube.com / The Pat McAfee Show. It's just one thing. It's very simple. What you're doing is adding an extra foot to driving. Whatever you say, you go to YouTube, Google Pat McAfee Show. You're just adding steps to things. It's not like it doesn't have to be
back
like
to this, doesn't it?
Justin called.
Yeah.
I mean, it does. It really does.
Tip of the spear. That's what he said, right?
Tip of the spear.
Tip of the spear. Is that how you described like making the NFL? That's
the 1% of the 1%. He said when it comes to 2-footed drivers. So I'm like, yeah, man, we are the apex of everything, right? When
Special forces of driving.
Wow.
I didn't even think about that. I mean, probably.
You ever see Shaq back in the day? I don't know if I'm sure I'll butcher it. He said in an interview to one guy. The guy asked him a question. He's like, I think he said that's a dumb question, or whatever. And the guy's like, what do you mean? He said, see where your thought process apexes is where mine begins. It was the greatest.
Hey, by the way, probably true with Shaq.
Yeah.
That guy is living in the year 2025, and then when we're in 2025, he's in 2030, always thinking ahead, Shaquille.
Yeah.
He's unbelievable businessman and personality. Before we have Jordy on, let's wrap up some of these phone calls. Let's go to Austin in Arizona. Congrats on FanDuel becoming available. What do you want to talk about, buddy?
Hey, Pat, you guys can hear me?
Yep, you sound great.
Hey, Dallas Cowboys swap picks with the Patriots, go 10-15, get Stephon Gilmore, and shore up their secondary.
You think 5 picks is enough? You think moving up 5 spots is enough to 10 to get Stephon Gilmore out of New England?
I think Bill Belichick doesn't give a shit.
All right.
Amen.
I respect it. I respect that that's how we... Stephon Gilmore was almost defensive MVP or whatever, and he's only going to be there for another year. They don't want to have to repay him. So you might as well get something in return for him and trade him. I guess if it's just moving up 5 slots in this draft, I guess you would do it, but I don't think that is nearly enough.
Yeah, for 1 year, do they have the money to pay him the year after? They already paid everybody this last year.
You're talking about Jerry?
Yeah, I'm talking about Jerry.
They got money somehow.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, they still have money. I don't know how.
Because he's going to ask for the Darius Slay money, which he deserves.
Hey, you think...
Can he get it at this point? You think he can get that money?
I mean, he fucking...
Pro Bowler last year, Defensive Player of the Year the year before.
Still got it.
I agree 100%, but why, I mean, I guess the Patriots already spent their money. They're not going to pay him.
It's been pretty obvious they're not going to pay him for a while.
We'll trade him. It'll be a draft. Don't you think it'll be a draft trade?
Maybe, but I don't know if 5 slots is going to be enough.
No, at some point in the draft, I'm saying he could be used as a bargaining chip for trying to make a move somewhere.
You know what? Maybe you do move up there, get a couple other pieces, use that as a bundle, then you move again.
See, I feel like if they were going to use Gilmore to move up, they try to move up to 4 or 5
to
really get up there.
To get who?
I mean, look, I don't want to say Justin Fields. You know, we're back. Okay, we're getting Fields.
Let's go to Corey in New Mexico. What's going on, Corey?
What's up, Pat, the boys, and AJ? What are you guys doing today?
Hey, just hanging out, Corey. What do you want to talk about, man?
First off, I want to start off by saying I think Mitt's phone is broken in the back.
Yeah.
You can't hear a single word that he says back there.
Yeah, it could be Mitt, too. We don't know. But we appreciate the heads up. We will try to get that fixed on both sides. Corey, what do you want to talk about?
Who does the breathing?
So last night, I saw probably the most inspirational thing was down in Atlanta Motor Speedway, Supercross is out there racing on the track. This 24-year-old kid died on the track, shit whipped, flipped over the thing, got up when they restarted. He got 3rd place.
Okay. You said he died. Hold on, Corey. Look, this guy, Jesus Christed himself?
You got to see the video. It's on Twitter. His name is Cameron McAdoo.
Okay, hold on, no. You're telling me Cameron McAdoo, dead, comes back to life, gets 3rd place?
Gets 3rd place. Resurrection like Jesus.
Cam McAdoo.
Cam McAdoo saying, look at me, bitches. Here I am, I'm back.
Shit. He does die.
I have not seen it.
I'm sending it in right now.
We need to pull that up.
Is it the jump one where he missed?
Yeah, it's like a boop, boop,
and then he goes forward and then back.
And then, oh, no, not back. Forward again.
And
wow.
then it's back, though.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think I did see that, actually.
It's in there.
Happy because when he said he died, I saw that video earlier, and when he said he died, I was like, I believe it.
Yeah.
After from the video, but he got 3rd place. This Supercross shit, I watch it late night. It's on TV. You'll just happen across it. I don't know if they've gotten worse or more reckless. I don't know what it is. They are selling out. I mean, there is accidents all the time, and these accidents they're flying and then just hopping. Oh, goddamn. Come on. Right back on that thing. It is insane what they got going on.
Well, you ever watch any Travis Pastrana stuff? I'll find his stuff on YouTube. That dude, first off, his whole body is bionic by now. He's had everything replaced, but he continues to do it every day in his backyard. He's flipping things. He had his little kids flip like little tricycles into the foam pit. Everything. Those guys, that whole world. It's fun to watch, but man, they got to be in a lot of pain all the time.
I went and saw a live Nitro Circus show down here in Indiana. They rented out a high school on the south side of Indiana, sold tickets, put out a big jump, and put out a bunch of pads.
How awesome was that?
It was awesome.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
They went on tour. Yeah, they did like a documentary on it. I saw like the tour.
I was at one in Indiana. It was hot as hell, but I saw him flip some heavy bikes.
Heavy bikes?
Heavy bikes. I saw some tricycles where he was talking about flying through like 40, 50 yards in the air doing a flip. It was wild. And then a DJ yelling, oh, look at that. Like and one back in the day. No holding, no holding.
Well, he broke Knievel's record, I think it was last summer or 2 summers ago, but it looks too easy, so it's kind of boring.
Yeah, Travis Pastrana is
He needs to jump over the monument down here, downtown.
That'd be awesome.
That'd be sweet.
Building to building.
Yeah.
What about a volcano?
Or from the ground to the ground.
We'll talk about that on another time. Obviously, we got a lot of good ideas for things and for people. Joining us now is a man who actually got AJ Hawk into the gates.
Wow.
Yeah.
Onto the premise of Augusta this past weekend. Legend on the football field and in life, ladies and gentlemen. Softball stud.
Yeah.
Jordy Nelson. Boy, Jordy, how you doing, pal?
I'm doing good. How you guys doing?
Hey, thank you so much for joining us. We got a couple questions, obviously, about the weekend. Now, we can talk football, and we do appreciate your brain in football and everything like that, and we can't thank you enough for your time here. This past weekend, was there ever a moment on Augusta there when AJ was just kind of lost that you thought to yourself, like, where did AJ go? Or were you just so locked into the Masters you didn't even realize it till about 7, 8 o'clock at night?
No, I wonder where he went. I still don't have the answer, I guess, but I waited at the driving range for him to come back, and then I finally gave up and said, I'm sitting at the Masters at a driving range right now. I'm gonna go start watching golf. So, like I think you guys had already talked about, there weren't very many people there, so I assumed we'd run into each other somehow. But come to find out, he sat at 2 holes that I never walked by. So I walked 90% of the course, but not the 10% he was sitting at.
Well, Jordy, I did walk around a little bit. Did you follow? So we had Will on earlier. Pat can say his last name for you, the guy that got second place.
Zalatoris.
There you go. I followed him for a while. Were you guys near him at all on the back 9? I feel like I followed him for like 6 or 7 holes.
These guys went together to the Masters.
I was trying to figure out how we didn't run into each other.
I watched his last part of it. We were sitting on Amen Corner when they turned and came down the back 9, so that's where I was sitting for the last part of it. I'd followed Gary Woodland to begin with because he's a Kansas kid, so wanted to watch him play some golf. And then, let's see here, then I followed Bubba Watson for a little bit. Being a lefty, wanted to watch, an incredible lefty play some golf.
Me too, yeah.
And then, what else? Then I think when he got done, Spieth was coming up on 9, and then we jumped and watched Spieth birdie 9, birdie 10. Kind of made a little bit of a run there, but
I was right there. I was right there, man. Jordy, I was right there. I was with Spieth at that moment. We probably could have touched each other.
Oh, you guys got those masks,
so
though? You can't see each other, no phones, you don't even know. Jordy, that's a shame, by the way, that could have happened. You guys could have maybe kind
thought about just yelling, Jordy. He's the only guy named Jordy there, so I would have figured it out.
After Spieth hits, you yell, Jordy! You could kind of blend in with Jordan.
Yeah.
And then maybe that could have been a moment there. Jordy, you big golf guy? Are you a big golf fan? How's your game? Pretty good?
It's getting better. I probably play around bogey golf is what I try to shoot. So some days it's a little bit better, some days it's a little bit worse.
You love golf though, yeah?
I enjoy playing it. Yes, it's I think it's the endless challenge. I don't think you'll ever play a perfect round. I think even listening to the guys on the tour, they'll shoot like 64 and be like, yeah, it could have been better. So. It's just a challenge and good time to be outside with some friends.
Do you think your softball career helps or hurts your golf game? Because I've heard you're top 5 in the world in softball right now.
I think it hurts the softball game, or it hurts the golf game.
Are you? So I said you're top 5 softball player in the world, and you didn't even
that's right.
Didn't even say anything.
He knows.
Are you an elite? And if you're in Jacksonville, I guess, are you on the edge when it comes to softball? Are you that guy on the diamond out there?
No, probably not.
You love it though, yeah? Play a lot?
No, we play. We don't play as much as we used to. We play in a lot of small town tournaments, co-ed softball. So me, my brother, and our wives, my sister, and then some friends. Just 10 of us go out there and play in some small town tournaments that we kind of. Honestly, grew up watching my parents play in, so it's kind of fun to go back to those small towns and play in the same tournaments that we were kids running around out in the outfield or outside the fence catching home run balls and stuff.
AJ, correct me if I'm wrong. I saw a video of Jordy chasing down cows.
Yeah, Jordy, what was that? Can you explain it? And also, we plan on being there next year.
Would like to be at that.
Okay. Yeah, so my brother is obviously a rancher farmer, and he's gotten into what they call ranch rodeos.
He's a cowboy? He's a real cowboy?
He's a full-blown cowboy, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a legit cowboy.
He's got this type of hat or no?
No, he doesn't wear that hat.
Why not?
Not a cowboy
then. He's I don't know. Anyway, he doesn't wear cowboy hats. He will when he does his rodeo stuff, but if I were to go out to the farm right now, he's got a baseball cap.
You better watch it.
What he's saying is you're a fugazi.
You're false, Tony. Yep. I haven't seen his brother ever on the email chain for Cowboys.
So we chase cows, and are we going to do that next year or no?
You're more than welcome. I'll let you know when. It's in August. I don't know exactly what weekend yet, but in August.
Hey, last year I feel like you teased a potential comeback. Are you still in shape? Are we playing for the Packers next year or what? The NFC Championship 2 years in a row, maybe one or two more weapons, we get to the Super Bowl again.
No, I'm not coming back.
No, come on.
Do it. Why not?
You haven't got the itch to maybe catch a few more TDs from Raj. He's playing pretty good right now.
He is, but I'm good.
Last year
I'm happy with where I'm at. I just sent AJ a video of what we were doing last night, so then I'd have to miss out on that stuff.
Family?
We burned about probably 600 acres of pasture last night until 1 o'clock in the morning.
Let's go.
Be careful.
Burn it down! I mean, is it like does the whole town come out for that? I mean, what is it a festival to burn down 600 acres?
There was probably 10 of us. Yeah, a bunch of our friends come out. We're on four-wheelers and side-by-sides with water tanks in the back and dragging fire through the pasture and putting it out.
Couldn't do that if you're playing for the Packers.
No.
Nah. I probably actually did do it while I was playing for the Packers, but it's off season. But there's other things. No, I'm happy with where I'm at. It's good to be back home. We finally got our house kind of complete and moved in. And,
congrats.
On to the next chapter.
Hey, Jordy, I know you're dialed in still to everything going on in Green Bay, the front office. You're tight with all of them. When are they going to get this deal done, and sign A-Rod to an extension?
Yeah, it's like a 10-year deal. Jordy,
Seriously.
out there in Kansas, are they reporting to you and then letting us know, or what?
No. I don't know what they're doing. I can't answer any of those questions. It's mind-blowing sometimes, especially, when he comes out and has an MVP year. If they don't want to commit or do whatever they want to do to, show appreciation or whatever it is for him the next few years. Seems like it'd be a pretty easy and simple move that I would say 100%, if not 99.9% of people would agree with. So I don't know where they can't be worried about a backlash or anything. So
the business side of the NFL is something, if you're in the NFL, obviously experience. If you're in the NFL long enough, you experience it a lot more than everybody. And I think with the world we live in, and I got a chance to talk to Channing Crowder about this earlier, who he literally said, I was only in the NFL to make money. That is the only reason why I was there. And some people will scoff at that because it's no love of the game. But the NFL, they're only in the business to make money as well. That's all they're doing as well. The business side of it, behind the scenes, and obviously you moved on from the Packers, that is something that you can't really fully understand until you're right in the middle of it. When you are the cow that is being auctioned or talked about, could sit on the shelf for a little bit longer, has a couple nicks here, it's not worth this. It is a fascinating business, to say the least.
It is, and I 100% agree with what you said. Not only once you're in the business, you notice it, but the longer you're in it, you notice it even more. Not only as a player, but even my wife experienced it as we were going through different things in Green Bay, not even just being released at the end of my career, just different contract negotiations and whatnot. And I actually went in and sat with the head contract negotiator with Green Bay when I did my last deal there, just because I wanted to experience it. I wanted to hear exactly what they were saying and not from my agent, because no matter what they said to him, it was going to be portrayed to me in a different manner. No matter how he tried to say it, it's better to hear it straight from them. So
the horse's mouth, cowboy.
Yeah, it's interesting though. It's very mind blowing sometimes, and but I guess it's their business.
It's Pawn Stars, but with humans involved. Ty, what do you have?
Jordy, so have you been able to play as much softball as of late? Are things opened up with you? You got tournaments every weekend, or are you just taking practice swings out back by the barn?
Has Kansas opened up? Are we back? Did we beat COVID over there in Kansas?
Kansas is opening up, but the benefit of living in rural America, it never really shut down. So.
Oh, yeah. When you're burning 600 acres.
Yeah,
true.
Boys
No
played
rules.
baseball all summer. We played slow pitch softball all summer. Not much really changed for us during the summertime. Our kids have been in school all year, starting in August, haven't missed a day. So that's the benefit of living out here in the country, and we took advantage of it.
Let's make sure we write that down in history books for later.
Yeah.
Those who live in isolation, pretty good spot when pandemic hits.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just living out in isolation out there. You kind of
nowhere.
Yeah, because it's hard to get. COVID. Maybe we'll find out later that it does have its own private plane and it can go to places without the human thing. But that does seem like quite an upside to live out in the middle of nowhere in Kansas. What do you have there, Nick?
Jordy, I just want to say you have a really magnificent head of hair right now.
Oh, yeah.
When you played, you always had this tight crop buzz cut. Is it because AJ and Clay were we have to have the best hair on the team? You can't do that. You got to cut your hair.
And Aaron.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get kind of threatened when you walk in the locker room and you see those guys.
Understand.
So you kind of keep it clean cut and short. I was very low maintenance when I played and didn't want to deal with it. We had a cold spell here in Kansas when Texas locked down with all the freezing. We were negative 15-degree temperature, so I let my hair grow out a little bit, and then we're well, there's no better time now to try out my first hairdo at the age of 35. So I went and got it done a little bit. So,
Jordy, you are Such an interesting guy. So good at football. Just the way you've. Did you know that 2/3 of guys experience noticeable hair loss by the age of 35, which is what you just said? That's very, very interesting.
Yeah.
That happened. What do you have, Connor?
Yeah, Jordy, you've known AJ a long time. You know, he smokes 80 cigars a day. He has a bunch of kids. He drives with 2 feet. He's from Ohio.
Antisocial. He will leave people whenever you don't have a phone.
He'll go to the Masters alone. So my question for you is AJ Hawk the fucking weirdest guy you've ever met? Or is he just kind of another run-of-the-mill guy?
Not because he wants to be alone, but sometimes his mind goes in different directions that some people can't comprehend. And I don't know if all of it's been portrayed on this show, but that's one of the best things about knowing him and Aaron and watching this show is all the little behind the back door, like little puns or jokes that AJ jabs that he takes at Aaron that I'm pretty sure no one else knows unless you've been around the two of them for the last 15 years. Which makes it even more comical because you can see it on AJ's face when he says it, and you can see it on Aaron's face when he tries to answer the question. They both are on the same page, and no one else knows what's going on.
Well, that's really good for a show that's being watched by a lot of people that potentially weren't with either of them for the last 15 years.
Yeah, that time he just put his hands up at the camera, and Aaron just shook his head, and we had no idea what the hell they were talking about.
AJ also tried to start a Ryan Phillippe thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it was an entire...
When Aaron put his hands up, Jordy will know, I was referencing his hairy knuckles and hairy hands I always make fun of him for.
Well, listen, he's a man out there. You think hey, do you watch Jeopardy? You a Jeopardy watcher? He is crushing it. And by the way, he's getting these last couple games have been his absolute best performances.
To be honest, I have not watched any of his episodes yet. We were on vacation for the last 10 days and got back last night. And like I said, then burned pasture. So I do need to figure out how to catch up on all his episodes. But I talked to him before his shows came, I guess, live or showed up on TV after he did the tapings and everything. He was super excited about it. And shocking to nobody is he said he sat there in the hotel and watched Jeopardy all day long to try to figure out how Alex Trebek read the questions and transitioned into the next thing. Like he did a full-blown film study, listening to his tone of his voice and everything. So, I mean, not shocking to me at all that he did that. But, I look forward to somehow rewatching him online or something.
Are you a normal Jeopardy watcher?
No, if I do, I get one question right, maybe, if I'm lucky. So it's not really that enticing to watch.
I know whenever you're baling hay and stuff, it's tough to watch Jeopardy every single night because, the sun is still up. So what are we doing?
Yeah.
Are we working or not? I am a Jeopardy watcher, though. And all the other guest hosts, you could tell that they were probably told, hey, don't try to be like Trebek, kind of put your own spin on it or whatever. And they kind of seemed a bit clunky or whatever. Aaron went in there and was like, we have a blueprint for who's the best host of this show of all time. I'm going to go ahead and be this guy and still put my own spin on it. He has been the most smooth host of this whole thing. Now, he said he wouldn't retire to do it, at least yet or whatever. So I don't know how they're going to figure that out, but I hope he gets the gig full time somehow.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. I think that'd be something that obviously he would really enjoy doing. And it'd be kind of crazy to see. That'd be one heck of a transition from football to Jeopardy host.
Jordy, do you watch movies or anything, or are you just out there in the farm all day?
I don't watch much for movies. If I'm watching something, it's probably either football or college basketball or golf, and that's about it. But for the most part, we're outside doing something.
Do you know Carson Wentz?
Yes.
You guys might be the same people. I'm not. I've never met somebody. Listen, I played at West Virginia. Know a lot of farmers. Okay, got a chance to meet a lot of farmers. Got a chance to go experience the farm life and everything like that. But I feel like Jordy, and I've only got a chance to chat with you a couple times here when you so graciously give us your time out in the middle of the day when you could be, potentially feeding the chickens or whatever the hell's going on out there. It feels like you are very okay with being completely distance from everything. Were you always like that, as a player? And how do you know what's going on out there? Or was it just you didn't really care? It didn't matter because it was just kind of out of your world?
No, we're very comfortable being back here in Kansas, in the middle of nowhere, some people would say.
I said earlier.
We don't need the big city. We don't need the fancy food or restaurants or hotels or anything. I don't know. I like the simple life, so it definitely fits us well. When I got into the NFL, it was a little bit different for me. I don't know, AJ would remember this or not, but one of our trainers always jokes that like the first couple of years I would never talk, and I was super quiet and just kind of kept to myself and everything until I get more and more comfortable with you. So it's just, I don't know, when you're born and raised out here, this is kind of where you want to be. And then obviously I have 3 kids and I don't want them to grow up to be spoiled brats, so they got to work.
Put them on a farm, dude.
Hell yeah.
Hey, go tackle some cows and tie them up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we need to get on that horse. You a good horse rider, huh? You're very good on the back of a horse?
I wouldn't say very good. I can manage it. I can rope a little bit. I can be productive, but definitely not a pro about it. Are you going to get on one when you come out here, or are you going to be a little nervous?
No chance of me getting on a horse.
AJ got on one.
Yeah.
I
we got a great picture.
The way I helped him out.
No,
yeah, Jordy, we should show you this picture, Pat. I was on a horse a couple years ago, and Jordy had the lead and was leading me because I couldn't ride it by myself.
That's what I'm saying. You can't trust these things, okay? These big-ass dogs, okay? They got the power to do whatever the hell they want. Girl in our high school got paralyzed from a horse because somebody honked on the way by.
Jeez.
Fell out. I'm like, well, I know what I'm never doing, and it's that particular thing.
My cousin,
yeah, people just hop on. Yeah, Diggs was related. People hop on the back of wild horses. Do you do that out there?
Not wild horses. These are trained horses. I got 4 nieces that all ride horses. They do little rodeos, and they're 10 and under.
Oh, what are you saying? Okay, listen. Relax. Okay, I heard
Just
what you
challenge.
Yeah, I just heard you there. Okay, maybe a bull. I'll get on a bull.
Ooh.
Why would you get on a bull rather than a horse? That makes 0 sense.
Let me tell you why. Okay, because a horse, the expected outcome is a positive one. You know, so if I get up there and something bad happens, it's like, look at this guy, can't even ride a horse. I got 4 nieces who's less than 10 years old. You hop on a bull, everybody knows it's ending bad. Mm-hmm. Everybody knows it's ending bad. So I know it's ending bad. Everybody knows it's ending bad. There's no real expectation. There's no, I'm not going to be able to sleep because of how bad I was on the horse when there's 10-year-old nieces of Jordy Nelson that are able to hop everything. With the bull, I'm just going in there and I'm trying to get 8 seconds, so I can get that belt buckle out there. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I mean, that actually somewhat makes sense. You're just playing, everything's going to be a positive coming out of that. No negative there.
Bingo. Unless I,
Yeah. Unless you're dead.
Okay.
I mean, that's the negative that can come out of it. I mean, yeah. Risk reward. What do you want? It just depends on how you look at it.
Is there chill bulls, or are they all pretty pissed off?
We could get you on a chill one. We can make it look real scary.
So people do bull ride out where you're from, yeah?
Do what?
There is bull riding out where you're from on a regular basis. That's something the boys do. Hey, want to go shoot hoops? Nah, we're going to go ride a bull.
Let's go bull ride.
No. No.
What do you mean?
You'd go to a rodeo to ride a bull. You don't just hop on a bull for fun.
How do they practice?
Probably on some machine.
Oh, see, I'm big anti those machine things.
Yeah. I am too. That's not realistic at all.
Oh, so you've rode a bull?
No, but I just tell, they control it. So
it's a creepy
the joystick,
guy.
They do a good job of slowly, guiding you in there, making you feel good, and then they could dump you in 2 seconds.
Getting the rocks off while doing it.
Yeah, some weird drunk guy in the corner.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, wait till you see what I did. This
is
cool. Bang! Right in the face to the back of the bull. Jordy, thank you for your time, man. I can't thank you enough for joining us. You're the best, dude.
So I got you. You guys bringing your own team for the rodeo, or you on my team?
Well, I feel like I would be quite.
We need to be on your team.
No, AJ. We do not want to be on his team. What is your team?
Bro, Jordy's the fastest guy within 150 miles of that area. Yes, we need him on our team.
Probably farther than that.
I would assume at
My
least
bad.
1,000 miles.
Yeah, easily the state probably.
So what do we do? We'd be on a team. We wear the same uniforms. We just chase down cows. What are we doing?
So what I sent AJ the video of. So there's 3 people on a team. Last year it was me, a buddy, and my niece. And then they put say 10 steers with lead ropes on them, halters and ropes on them.
Diggs, don't say down. He doesn't know. What does that mean? The cowboy just said there, so he can be documented as on the record of saying What does that mean? What did you just say there?
What?
10
the steer?
10 steers?
Steer. So a steer. Oh boy, this is gonna get AJ all on the wrong side here. So a steer is a bull without nuts.
What happened?
You get rid of their nuts so they can't breed cows. And you fatten them out.
Oh, so spayed or neutered. Exactly. Your dog's Bob Barker's been saying it a long time. So we got a nutless bull, who's been spayed or neutered. There's how many of them?
depending on how many teams are in there, there's probably about 10 of them running around in the pen.
And we're trying to run and jump on their backs?
You grab the lead rope so they have a halter like on their face, and then a rope that comes off. So like you could actually lead them around if they were really tame. And then you have to catch one and walk it to a circle. And before you get in the circle, though, one of your teammates has to be on the back of the bull or the steer.
Okay, so that would be me. You guys will catch. I'll do the fly jump on the back thigh, and I'll just hold on.
I mean, yeah, if you want.
He didn't watch the video, obviously, Jordy.
No, I can tell.
What do you mean? I watched. I seen a bunch of people run, a bunch of cows moving. What are we talking about? What did I see? Is that the person that gets?
Yep. You just have, yeah. We'll explain it when you get here. You'll see it. We'll watch film before we go.
Smart, like Aaron did for Jeopardy. Ladies and gentlemen, Jordy Nelson. Jordy's the best, dude. He's so cool. It feels like I am talking to somebody that lives on a different planet. You know what I mean? Out there in the middle of Kansas. He was a freak in the NFL. A freak in the NFL for a long time. Now he's just out there burning down acres.
Crushing softballs.
I don't want my kids to be soft either, so get out there and, hey, tackle some of them steers. Yeah. What are we doing? Why'd you guys say no to me jumping on the back of the thing?
I mean, that part looks, from what I remember watching the video, that part looks a little scary.
Yeah, but I got to go vert.
That's right. That's probably but you gotta ride a steer in with it's not like there's a saddle, there's nothing to hold on to. You gotta grab and clinch with your legs, and then I don't know where you grab around their neck, however it works.
I'll connect to it like Jacob Sully did.
That would work perfectly.
You know what I mean?
Instantly. You gonna plug in? You gonna plug into it?
What?
You gonna plug into it? Is that what you're talking about?
My hands. Yeah. When I jump on that thing, it's going to become like
I'm home.
I see you. You know what I mean? Like Jacob Sully.
It's me, Pat. I'm here.
No, you lock in.
The steer and I are just going to become.
How do you lock in?
When two become one. I'm going to take this mitt right here. Boom. Left lungs.
Yeah.
Right here. I'm going to take this mitt right here. Pow. Right lungs. They're going to feel the connection through the heart there, and on the back, I'm just going to be maybe feet up there. And ride that thing like I'm like a body surfing.
Trusted AWA.
Perfect. On a boogie board.
That's easy.
Yeah, exactly. I will trust AWA.
We need to do this.
Well, if not me, then who's jumping on the back of your ass? No way. Your knees can't get there.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I'll do whatever. But watching people try to run and jump and like take the bull down is what is the steer, I should say, seemed to be very difficult for a lot of people. Jordy's running 4 240s up and down this pen trying to grab his.
Then what do you win? Do you win one of the cows? Like, what do we get a prize?
Cash prize.
You escape with your life.
How about a belt buckle?
Ooh, that'd be sweet.
Will you get a belt buckle when we walk out of there? Because I will do the tuck into that thing, and I will do the full every day. You know what I did? Became one with a goddamn steer. You know what a steer is? It's a bull with no nuts. You know why it has no nuts? Don't want it to reproduce, but that son of a bitch was a good ride.
It'd be like Easterby.
Yeah, it would be like Easterby. Down when we go to Kansas, we tackle the steers. Hey. All right, we got to get out of here. Literally have to get out of here. We can't thank you enough. Hammer Down is in 30. Three minutes. YouTube.com/Hammer Don. Can't thank you enough for joining us. AJ, anything to say to the YouTube people here on our way out?
No, I think I'm good today.
It's very nice.
Good show. You did a good show today. I watched a lot of it.
Thank you. Wow.
Channing Crowder's awesome. I think I mentioned to somebody before he came on, Channing's the man.
Yeah.
I love Channing Crowder.
Yeah. He was awesome.
He was very, very cool.
Yeah.
All right, that's the show. I think that really is it. Because hey.
Uh-oh.
I'm up to something. Tomorrow we might be, in a studio.
Oh.
Somewhere else, maybe.
What?
Huh?
What?
There's a meeting that has to take place, so maybe we have to, or maybe I'll be back.
Oh, okay.
Because we got a couple weeks before a big announcement is made, has to lay down. Maybe I'll be back.
What part of the country will you be in?
Don't worry about it. How about that?
Yeah. South, north, which way?
How about you stop asking questions?
Yeah.
I'm being Kansas.
I figured it out. I told you. You're going to be guest Jeopardy host. You and then LeVar Burton's going to come and dunk on you right afterwards.
AJ.
Shut up, dude.
He probably, by the way, that would happen if that was to happen. LeVar Burton, Reading Rainbow.
All-time classic.
I never read a book and I watched the movie.
Yeah.
Or the show.
Mm-hmm.
A couple times. He was great. Let's get out of here. AJC tomorrow. See everybody tomorrow. Can't thank you enough. That's been the show here. Wednesday, April 14th, 2021. I got to eat food. I've not had food in 24 hours. This fasting thing is wild.
Are you fasting for a day at a time?
Kind of, yeah, because it was intermittent fasting, and I was doing like 3 hours, 4 hours, of eating, 20 off, 4 on of eating or whatever. And then I started shortening those times without even really realizing it. Just kind of life got caught up in the way. So now I'm like eating for like an hour and a half, 2 hours. And I feel good. The energy's good. The body's good. Everything's coming together. Still got power if I need it for anything. Ooh. If I need it.
Is that sustainable? Is that a sustainable model, though, for the rest of your life?
I do not believe so. I do not think so. I'm going to find something, though. I'm going to find some cheat code in this entire game so I don't have the 275 pat to 225 pat every other couple months. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, are you trying to cut some weight so you can take on old Bad Bunny?
No. Listen, Bad Bunny's got a tour. He's going on
come on.
He's going on a tour. Let's just take it easy and have a little bit of respect for what San Benito has done. Booker T and Tommy Dreamer have both come out publicly and said that Bad Bunny was way better than me.
What?
Yeah, I'm just telling you what I'm hearing.
Booker T.
Booker?
Yeah, Booker.
Wait, did they say they were better than you specifically, or did they say they were like the best guest wrestler?
Specifically was asked about me. More entertaining is what Booker T did, and I think Tommy Dreamer said, yeah, just better than Pat's or whatever.
Who would have thought Helwani was right about Booker T?
I trust and appreciate Booker T and Tommy Dreamer both. View them as icons, legends, fan of them. So I guess they're right. I'll say they're right. I mean, 1-on-1, 15 minutes. You know the business, boys. Have a little fucking respect. We'll be back tomorrow. This has been the Pat McAfee Show. Cheers.